Go, Sharif. Thank you, everybody, for watching. What a banger day.
See you guys.
Leave you on high notes.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. This female to the left of me is that girl, Adara, and I am Sharif, and we're waiting for everyone to come on in from the other stream. The OG Darwin doing his thing. He's dancing up a storm in set chat. 420 Bud Monster, he's 420ing. He's busy at the moment. Chase Bands 100, my man. Market Sniper, take profit money. You take that profit money. MB3, as well as Yannick. There used to be a guy called Yannick Sweater in the chat. I liked him.
Really?
Blue Arrow and Cesar Sandoval, Anurag, Mr. Ian, Robert Isaac, the Pawns, the Fawns, even Trader Drew has joined us today, as well as Julia C. Stock Up Futures Trader Extraordinaire goes by the name of Dad Trader, Christopher Holcomb, Aaron, and Joanna Brewster. There's so many. Rick Myers. We got Pickle Monster. Okay. Samer Zarora. Oh, I like that. Oliver Saros. There we go. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Peter, Eric B, Kenny D. So many names. Welcome to join. Welcome to How to Trade. Good morning, Adair.
Good morning. How are you? How was your weekend? I know you went to the beach.
I did go to the beach. It was, we had a real good time. It did end up raining a little bit, though, towards the end of the time. So there, it was good. Other than that, nothing to complain about. How about yourself?
It was good, yeah. I told Sharif, if there were Olympic medals in sleeping, I would have won one this weekend. There was a lot of that going on. But I also got to socialize. So not a super productive weekend, but good for R&R and socialization. So can't complain too much. I am taking 20 pennies here out of Apple. Then I'm going to add, if we come back to this 50s area, this was an area I actually wrote down in the pre-market on my little version of a sticky note, which is just for myself, and I call it tickers to watch for, tickers to look at. But we had a lot of resistance here around this level, not exactly 50s, probably closer to 40s. In the pre-market, we kept resisting that area, so I like this baby range. So I said, I come sit down, we're bouncing off this 50s. I say, Adara, you owe it to yourself to take the long. Now, I was going to get out once we broke below 50s, but then we kept bouncing off 30s. I needed to have the confidence to add to the position there. Unfortunately, I did not. But yeah, basically, as long as we kind of stay above these 30s, as long as these stuff I like in the book, because I need to trust the book way more. That was what got me on Tesla last week, which got me shut down. But you guys know, I always say this all the time. When there's adversity, I like to push back, fight back harder. So we're going to be doing that here on this Apple trade, hopefully. If we come back to basically make these higher lows, like I'd be interested in 235.65 bounce. I'd be willing to add a little bit because I have a really small position right now, took out 2/3. But yeah, please just punch, hoping I have the conviction so we can deliver the right verdict on this trade. The button didn't work. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I had.
Oh, is that the one that you were getting me excited
I will
for?
play it later.
Oh.
Yeah, shout out to Fabian for hooking me up with a new button there that I'm really excited to unveil to the world. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Let's get ready.
Absolutely. And I want to remind you guys to get your say every day. Get your vote in now. The Katina Man, the Neil, they've been trading an umpteen amount of stocks. There is plenty going in this market. If you want to know why Apple's up 2 1/3, vote for it. If you want to know why Tesla's up 6% or how to trade it, vote for that. Get into the chat right now. Have your say every day. It's super simple. The prompt is exclamation point, the word join, space, and the $sign, and the ticker of your choice. Have your say every day. Make sure you're voting right now. All right, let's get down to business over here, Fabian, because Apple was doing a move back into 236, but finding some weakness is AAPL. But I really should point out the fact that this gapped up aggressively today in the pre-market on the back of that Morgan Stanley Loop Capital upgrade. It was up over $5 from where it closed out on Friday, so it behooves us to look for a possible mean reversion off the top there, but it looks like it is now actually putting in these higher lows and higher highs. So I don't know if this one's weaseling its way back into the high day. Strong day for AAPL, but look at Softy. Softy is right moving with this market. The future is at the high of day right now, 20,756 on the NQ September contract, and the soft one knowing or doing the exact same thing as the future, 45674. Microsoft at the high day. Google trying to work its way into the high day. It did print that 188 earlier in the day, but it really is Softy at the high day right now, kind of on its own. Everything else off those levels, but excuse me, by a little bit. Did you want to point anything out before we start the lesson du jour, or are you good to go?
I'm still chomping on that Apple, and I like what you had to say about that. So I'm going to be chilling. Like I actually did just add to Apple because I saw higher lows. Basically, like I said, just if I see anything in the book I don't like, I'll get out or add accordingly. That's going to be the vibe. Yeah.
All right, Eddie R. Yeah, I see you, sir. I see you. Eddie, he wants me to know that he's sorry for my loss yesterday in the Euro Cup. Obviously, my horse was England. England was the second best team yesterday because the best team did win, and that was España. So shout out to them. They did really well, and they have a hell of a team. They're all very young. They're all going to be really good, and I think we're going to have one of those 2010s kind of golden age in soccer for Spain. We'll have to see, obviously, in the coming tournaments. But let's get right to the lesson du jour. We are talking about Elliott wave theory again because there were just too many things to cover. We couldn't fit it all in 1 week, so I'm sorry if you don't like Elliott waves, but it's going to be another week of Elliott waves. So let's get right to it. Today, we're going to talk about the power of confirmation using confirmatory indicators with Elliott wave theory. That is going to be the crux of the lesson today, so let's get right to it. Elliott wave theory provides a valuable framework for understanding market movements. However, like any analytical tool, it's essential to use it in conjunction with other indicators for that increased accuracy and the confidence, the shonfidence, the OB-1fidence, whatever you want to call it. Shout out to Adira. So today we'll explore how combining Elliott waves and other technical indicators can strengthen your analysis. Let's get right down to business. So why does confirmation matter? We always have to start off with why we're doing what we're doing. So subjectivity first and foremost, right? Elliott wave analysis can be quite subjective with different analysts interpreting wave patterns a little bit differently. You see this part is the start of wave one. I see this part is the start of wave one. We have some subjectivity there. That is part and parcel of Elliott waves. But then there's also that element of market complexity. The market is influenced by various factors, and relying solely on one method might overlook crucial information. So you need to make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's by using more than one indicator to make sure we are taking a full picture of the market. And it's also crucial for risk management. Using multiple indicators can help you identify potentially false signals that one indicator or one theory like Elliott wave theory might be showing you. So you need to be able to make sure that you're seeing the full picture, and that's why you use other indicators. So let's talk about the indicators we're going to use with Elliott wave theory, or that have been used, and we're going to talk about how to use them. First and foremost, relative strength index. Short form is RSI. So if you see RSI anywhere, it always refers to relative strength index. And this is a momentum indicator. It basically gauges momentum, strong and weak. So divergences between the price action and the RSI can confirm potential trend reversals or extensions. And I'll show you what I mean by in a second. There's also the overbought, oversold component of the RSI, which can align with the Elliott waves. So two ways we can use RSI to help confirm or, detract from our analysis on the trend. We can use the price action RSI divergence, that's one way, and we can also use moving out of the overbought or oversold territories as another way. MACD, moving average convergence divergence. This is another momentum indicator. So similar to RSI, divergences between price and MACD can provide confirmation, but you can also use crossovers of the signal line by the MACD line to coincide with the initiation of the waves, both bullish and bearish. And here's what I mean by way of example. So you have here RSI divergence. You're continuing to make higher highs, and there's that monster wave 3, the biggest and the baddest of the impulse waves. And then subsequent to that, you continue to make higher highs in the price, but you make lower highs on the RSI. That's what the NASDAQ, the boss, would call bearish divergence. But that's not the only way to use RSI. We can look for the waves, like say wave 1, wave 3, wave 5, to initiate after an oversold reading is kind of, we're move out of the oversold territory on the RSI. So if we move above that 30 30-point or whatever 30 level area on the RSI, and then that coincides with the initiation of a wave. So you're looking for either ones of those, right? So the bearish divergence shows maybe the trend is coming to an end, whereas the wave initiation with the moving out of oversold or overbought territory can just be kind of more confirmation. Okay, and here is the MACD divergence. So price continues to make lower lows on the actual price action, but when you look at the lows on the MACD, you see higher lows. So this is what we call bullish divergence, where the price continue to makes newer lows, but the moving average convergence divergence is a leading indicator in this instance, showing you that the downtrend possibly could be coming to an end. But that's not the only way to use MACD. Again, you can use it for the crossover, kind of like moving out of overbought or oversold territory on the RSI. In this particular instance, you're looking for the waves to coincide with the MACD crossing the signal line. So whether that's the initiation of the corrective wave 2, where you get a bearish cross down with the MACD line crossing south of the signal line, or you're getting the initiation of wave 3 with the MACD line crossing north of the signal lines. Two ways to use these momentum indicators, both for convergence and divergence, okay? And trend indicators, we always use these. I always use these. Moving averages, they are my favorite indicator to have up on my chart for intraday trading, right? A moving average above the price can confirm an uptrend, while a moving average below the price can confirm a downtrend. Aligning moving average crossovers with Elliot wave patterns can strengthen your analysis, but that's not the only way to use these trend indicators. You can use, trend lines. Believe it or not, they're trend indicators. Trend lines can help identify those key areas of support and resistance. When they align with Elliott wave counts, it increases your confidence in the analysis. And here's the look, right? So right here, we have the moving average trading below the actual price, and then you get the big boy Huadunk. So in this particular case, the moving average trading below it was a little bit bearish. In this case here, we're using trend lines rather than moving averages. So what we're looking for is the waves to start at the touch of the lower trend line. So you have the initiation of wave 2 coming in very close to support. Likewise with the initiation, or the ending, of wave 4, the initiation of wave 5 starting at that key area of support on the trend line. That's not the only indicator we use for confirmation though. Volume. How many times have you heard us yap about volume? So volume indicators, there we go. Increased volume during impulse waves and decreased volume during those corrective consolidative waves can confirm Elliott wave patterns. However, volume can be misleading at times, so use it as a supporting indicator. And here's what I mean, right? So you're getting that big boy move up on wave 1. You should have more volume on wave 1 than you do on the corrective wave 2. The same holds true for the volume on wave 3, the biggest, the baddest of the impulse waves, then should be the volume on the corrective wave 4. So in an uptrend, the volume on the impulse waves should be higher than the volume on the corrective consolidative waves, which is wave 2 and 4. Okay? Chart patterns, also very important at identifying areas of support and resistance for Elliott waves. For example, the head and shoulder pattern, these double tops, double bottoms. These patterns can confirm trend reversals aligned with the Elliott wave counts, and so can the flags, your bull flags, your bull pennants, your bear flags, your bear pennant, doesn't matter. These continuation patterns can also align can also align with wave extensions. And here's what I mean by that. You get this big, gnarly, ugly move down off the finish of wave 5. But look what happens here. You get this head and shoulders pattern at a key area of support. And what you end up having after this is a nice move up. So it's showing you the corrective wave there is kaputs. And it's showing you the big move up after that big move down. Remember, head and shoulder patterns, these are reversal patterns. So for them to be, if you really want to make sure you're going to be accurate in your assessment about whether this is an inverse head and shoulders, you need to have a downtrend to precede the formation of the inverse head and shoulders. Similarly, for an actual head and shoulders, you need to have an uptrend that precedes the formation of the head and shoulders. Never going to be, well, I shouldn't say never, but oftentimes it's not as clean as this down move over here, but there should be an element of lower highs and lower lows that you can glean. And in this case, it's a bull flag continuation. So it's on the conclusion of wave 5, which we know is the conclusive wave there. And then we get a moment of correction. Well, in this case, the moment of correction came in this downward channel on what we know to be a bull flag. And then what ended up happening is you got the break of the channel, the upper trend line, and the continuation to the north side. So bull flags, inverse head and shoulders, bull pennants, bear pennants, everything, they do jive when you see them with the formation of the wave. So how do you use confirmation? We've talked about which ones you can use, but what's the move here? So multiple indicators, combine several indicators to increase the reliability of your analysis. That's going to come down to you and what you want to use as your indicator and what makes sense for you based on your trading style. And consistency, you want to make sure there's an element of consistency between the indicator that you've chosen and the formation of Elliott waves. So you're going to have to do your back testing to make sure that that jives. Otherwise, there's really no reason for you to use it. Divergences as well. Be aware of the divergences between the indicators and the price as they might signal potential trend reversals or corrections. I made that point very clear when we talked about RSI and MACD. It's not just about the crossovers. It's not just about the moving out of overbought and oversold territory, but it is about price action indicator divergence. Last but not least, risk management. You want to use confirmation to help you determine the appropriate entry exit points as well as your stop loss levels. If you're aware of where these indicators jive best with Elliott waves, you'll have better placement of your entries, exits, and stops. And remember, guys, no indicator is perfect, not by any means. While confirmation certainly is valuable, no indicator is 100% accurate. So never really, feel as 100% as you can be, because there's always something that can come your way. What's going on there, Katina, man? Everything. The dude's just printed everything, and I said, what's going on? He's like, look, everything, dude. So shout out to the Katina, man. He took 130 long NVIDIA, so he's already printing 50 pennies in the money there. And Fabian, if we can, or Ram, if we can show them more Trader TV live, because, well, the Katina man's positions are on there, so are Neil's. And if the viewers are not following both streams, they're missing out on what Neil and Sean are trading right now. So you got to get on to more Trader TV. Make sure to like and subscribe on that channel as well. And last but not least here, Ram, remember that practice, and what was that other one? Practice, yeah.
I think so.
Consistent practice and back testing will help you refine your skills using multiple indicators alongside Elliott wave theory. In other words, guys, get yourself a program with a sim, figure out what works best for you, and try it out before you ever use real money. Good. What's up, Adair?
Yeah, the sim is always really helpful. As someone who was in it a lot, I think it definitely helps you have more confidence and practice your strategies a little bit better. And I say that as someone who was in the sim a little bit last Friday after, because I got shut down messing around with Tesla. Well, guess what I'm doing again? Shorting Tesla, but I feel way better about this entry. Now, why did I enter here? This was a level that is kind of interesting here. We've bounced off it a couple times, so I know this could form to be support again, but basically I was noticing we can't really get above that 262.30. We tried to hold that as support for a little bit on the book, but we couldn't really stomach it. I would love to see a nice 262 breakdown. If I can't see that, I'm okay getting out at 262s. I'll take 20 pennies. Again, okay, but it did bounce a little bit off 262. I don't love that. We're going to get out 2/3 the position just above 262s just to de-risk. But hey, Tesla, if you want to break down lower, I would call you Besla. I know this is, okay, we did get out a cool 2/3 here. I'm willing to save a piece for the dream. I'm aware this is a very small piece, but we are continuing to see that breakdown. Basically, I would like to get out here at VWAP. I want to watch what we do with this VWAP area, not just because it's VWAP, but because there is some confluence here between VWAP and this little boop we had earlier here at 261. Speaking of whatever sound I just made, CPOP was on watch a little bit earlier. I come in and I say to Sharif, hey, CPOP, your old pal there, but CPOP is now only up about 7%, so CPOP, C dropped is what that one did. C droop. But yeah, Tesla, Oh my gosh, Tesla. Okay, Tesla, you want to give me like more than 50?
Get it,
like 70
Adara.
pennies. We're going to get out here. Pleased as dang punch. Really happy with the trading here. I came back with my mind on straight. I had a couple successful trades here in Apple. One L here on Apple, putting the L in AAPL. Basically, I got involved at 236 as we were holding at the time. I should have been waiting to go a little bit lower, though. We broke below 80s pretty viciously, so I got out, lost about 20 pennies. But yeah, I mean, really happy. I've just been trusting myself on the book, on the chart, and hopefully going to continue having some trades. And we have a sponsor, though, to thank.
All right, tired of being late to the trade, Ram? Always playing catch up in the market. Are you, Ram? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Well, Benzinga Pro is at your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everybody else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial today. And this is kind of what it looks like, guys. I don't actually have the Pro logged down on this computer, but you can create multiple tabs. You can research up a storm over here. Nothing you really can't do on this platform. Shout out to them. All right, let's look at the, let's bring in the side chart and see what's what. That's a meaningless tautology that I want to start off the analysis with because we just got to a local high here on AAPL, 236. Nice recovery off that 233 drop. 233.33, Adara. That's an interesting.
That's a confluence of three.
Yeah, I like that. I always like that kind of stuff. So it's really retracing now, moving up into the high side. We're seeing that on a lot of names. Amazon and Apple look very similar in their kind of their chart patterns, not similar in their percentage moves up on the day, and I know that Amazon has that 200 level, but they're both kind of curling a little bit here. Meta and Goggles and Microsoft and the Future, all the top 4 charts over here on the top, everything printing days high. I mean, I don't know if we've been higher than 20,800 in the future. I just can't remember anymore. But yeah, big move up. We're on our way to 800. That should be the 100-point level. I expect a little bit of resistance around there, given that we are 4 points off that. Meta reclaimed that 506 level quite aggressively. Meta had a really, really bad day on Friday. Dropped about $15, dropped about more in the pre-market today, but was able to recover. This thing touched 494. Now it's on its way to 507, 506.68. Great move up. Lots of strength in the Mag 7 names. What I'm looking for, though, specifically on these Mag 7, is this retracement into the pre-market kind of consolidation bottom that we had on the monster NVIDIA. And we just touched that level right now and wicked right back down. Here's what I'm talking about. Look at this 130.75, 130 kind of low to mid 80s. Unsure what to make about this whole long consolidation area here. And then we get this candle pop up into 75s, and it's a candle of indecision right now, being that it's a doji. So we'll see exactly how this ends up resolving. You never want to stand in front of the monster NVIDIA, especially when it's retracing to the high side. But I just can't help but see this level over here, consolidation area bottom at around 130.75 to say 131. So the monster NVIDIA looking like it's meeting some resistance around here. Let's flip to some of the small cap gappers. Haven't talked about any of these ones yet. Now, chief among them on my list today is AEON, but I'm seeing that's being rivaled here by AMIX, the bottom. So these two are the monsters right now. This one up 110%, the other one up 136. So triple digit winners on both these names here. AEON, though, at a very interesting level. The whole dollar level at 3, and it's the volume weighted average price. So you're getting some confluence there between the whole dollar and the indicator. So I want to see what we do here. Do we hold up at VWAP? If it breaks down below VWAP, I'm not taking it as a breakout trade, but we can look to possibly take it as a range. So AEON at a critical level right now, whether it holds or rejects. AMIX. I just noticed I didn't give you any of the deets on AEON, but I'll give you the deets on AMIX, and maybe we'll circle back to the other one. So this one, about $28 million market cap. It's obviously about $1. It's done almost 100 million shares on the day, 97.5 million shares, 10.1 million share float. Let's bring down trade ideas and shout out the NOS boss. and look for the short float on AMIX. They don't have it, so we don't have a number for that. Maybe I can find it somewhere else. But keep an eye on this one. What is the headline? Here it is. Trading higher after the company entered into agreement with RF Innovations to license intellectual property for its Apex 6 radio frequency generator. Sounds great. Don't really understand that kind of stuff, but good look for them. The other one that's moving here, obviously DJT goes without saying. We're going to have that one up. That's kind of a no-brainer. CYN also doing decent here, 45% in the clear, 7.33 million. The float on this monster, give it to you in a second here, 1.4 million shares, very small. The range per candle is really wide, so you're going to need to actually account for that in your stop placement and your beak wetting placement as well. Kind of at VWAP right now, zigging and zagging. Seems to be finding support off the 20-period exponential on the 5-minute chart. That's the yellow line over here. CYN, good look. Then INOD, big boy mover as well, 20.33%. Definitely not doing the same amount of volume as these others, but look at this. Close out at a little bit below 17 bucks. Now we're knocking the door at 21. It's been a love affair between this stock and the 10 exponential on the 5. All the retracements coming into that 10 exponential and bouncing. You could keep that out or keep that your eye on that for support. And then Huma. I mean, there's just so many to go here. Huma, H-U-M-A, another decent move here, 19%. Got off the schneid at $7 where it closed out at Friday, 8.56 high a day. Again, between the 10 and the 20, depending on where it's retracing, the 10 exponential or the 20 exponential here, finding support there. And then I've got Hut 8 Adara, as I've got Coinbase as well. There's just so much going on today, so bullish. I'm not going to go through all of it right now. What are you looking at?
Yeah, the better question would be like, what isn't moving? Also, someone was asking about news on Huma. From what I saw, there was some kind of licensing related situation. Also, they had a price target increase from BTIG Research. Okay. So a couple of different things there in Huma. I got involved long in NVIDIA because, and I will admit, don't love the price I got on this. I was basically seeing these higher lows here as we curled up to 130.30. I thought either it'd be kind of a short at 130.30 or we break down. I got involved 24s, and now basically since I've gotten involved, what I'm seeing are gradually lower highs here in the book. So I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Come on, NVIDIA, let me out. There we go. Really small position. Basically, I'm happy I was patient with this. Initially, the plan was to short it 130.15. Looks like that actually might have worked better. But happy I tried the long there because I did see some confidence for the long as well. Now, though, if we did break decisively below this 130, this could be kind of a spicy short for me for, shorting the monster for the time being. Also, the market kind of falling a little bit here.
Yeah, I know.
Q's dropping off here. SPY, I'm spying a bit of a move here. Oh!
One.
If both the Qs and the SPYs are going to be spicy around the 90 MA, Sharif, I've got some choices to make.
I
Do I want
bet.
to go long this 90 MA pop? Do I? I don't know. I don't have an answer yet. But hopefully, I come back here with, we'll get some conviction and we'll make a strong verdict. We'll be confident in our trades because you want to make sure that you have everything all put together, all of your ideas before you have the verdict and you get that conviction in there. Will this? It worked. Did you hear my button?
No. What? What is that?
It's
Nice. I know you wanted that.
Thank you so much to Fabian for hooking me up with that button.
Fabian.
I was really excited to get it because I do love law and order, but I will try not to use it too much because, as Fabian said, when he gave it to me with great power comes great responsibility. Thank you to Bears versus Bulls.
No, the one above that.
Oh, the one above that? Oh, Confidera. I love that. Thank you, Darwin. That's a good one, Confidera.
All right.
So I'm trying to make confidence puns for everybody. SPY following here. I sound like Chicken Little. Instead of the sky is falling, the SPY is falling. There's definitely some opportunities here in a lot of things as this market has a little bit of a kudunk.
All right. I just got long Microsoft at a key area of support. I'm going to give this about 25 pennies. So we're going to get out if it breaks said 24s. So we'll give it that. We're in it right now looking for a dip trade, and there's really not going to be anything here. It's tanking. So a lot of weakness coming out of the market, and I'll get stopped out here for a quick 25 penny loser unless it doesn't trigger here. It's back into the 40s. I had my stop on the south side of 25. I'm looking for this area hold. Let me just show you quickly. I just want to keep my eye on it because I don't know why the stop is not triggering. Oh, there we go. Now we get stopped out. Okay, so this was the reason that I got in on this level. I wanted to see if I could take a quick scalp off this area top over here. These were the closing prints. You could call this IB high. 455.50. It doesn't even slow down at that 20 exponential. So we do get stopped out for a bit of a loser to start out the day there, but we're going to look for the next trade, baby. And if this one ends up holding the 20 exponential retracing, I'll get back in. I have no qualms about that, as Adara likes to say. I'm also keeping my eye on the dead one, Tesla, because this has, the Cybertruck Tesla, that was the dead one, Apple. This has multiple bottoming tails into the volume weighted average price at 261.25. It's already bouncing up into 262.25. I do like these bottoming tail candles over here. It's showing me that there is buying at VWAP. So if it does weasel its way down there again, I do want to be able to take a trade off that. And as I see, I did get bottom wick, sadly, right now on the soft one, because that's just the way that this is. It's a $455 name, and you got to just be ready to take the smoke when it does come. So that's kind of the way it works. I just want proof here that it's going to move back up before I punch back in so that we don't take unnecessary paper cuts. But I'm keeping my eye on Tesla at VWAP. I'm keeping my eye on these retracement levels on some of these Mag 7 names, and if they find a bit of a bottom, I'm going to get long.
Oh, sorry, I totally missed that. No also, I saw this from Bow S&W. I don't know, I don't have any news on this, but I want to look at it because I am deeply curious, and this piques my curiosity. Why is WBA green? WBA should only be down, down, down to zero. No comments on the second part of that statement, but I am curious about the first part. Yes. Sorry, Fabian was just testing the mic.
Good.
I did a Sharif tongue pop there. I got very excited. But yeah, WBA, this could just be, honestly, a really strong base here. And it looks like we had these lower highs, maybe a flat bottom break potentially, but then we curled higher. So this could be an interesting look. The reason, though, I wanted to pull up WBA is because this guy's getting booted out of the NASDAQ equal weighted 100 in favor of SMCI. So I thought that was interesting. Thank you for mentioning that one, Bow S&W, because I thought that would be an interesting look. John Szymanski mentioning this here on Upstart. Upstart's one I've been watching a couple different theories here. Rivian Millionaire saying Upstart in a buy program. Harman just mentioning that Upstart's happening. John Szymanski saying Upstart says text and credit unit to offer loans. I didn't see any swears on this. I've spent a long time looking, but I did bring this one up on the big desk because it has been really strong. I mean, I don't think it started up. I think it's been up, continuing. I don't know, but like this, we're getting a bit of a bearish engulfing candle here, if I may say so myself. We wick up here into 3120s, then have a little bit of a fall lower. Look at this bottoming tail candle here at 3080s. That's an area of support. We're just trying to pop in there, and Upstart's like, yeah, I mean, I'd rather continue going higher. So 3080 to 3120, very small range, not one I would necessarily have the confidence or the confidera, shout out to Darwin for that one, to play, but it's one I do want to keep an eye on because I think even though we did have a bit of a topping tail candle, there is some support here at 3080. We could be coiling to start up another move here on Upstart. NVDA, happy I got to the long where I did. Man, oh boy, look at what we're doing here. I want to see, though, what we do here around VWAP, not just because it's VWAP, but because much like Apple did its big old popper on VWAP, NVIDIA had one a little bit earlier, and we had that pop here at 129.60. So if we get back to 129.60s and we push higher, that's a look that I might not mind. I don't know if we're going to get it. Also, I did take another scalp here on Tesla as we were holding just below that 162. So I got 162 into 162.20. I love that 162.20 level. Both trades I've had in Tesla to the long side and the short side have been playing around with that level. So we'll have to see what we do here. Tesla, though, much like the rest of the market, having a bit of a quadroon here. Tesla falling right below that 161 VWAP level. If you come back to 161 and reject, I shall take you short, Tesla. If you come back to 161 and pop, I'll take you long. Worth noting as well, take this with a grain of salt if you may, but something I've noticed today, Tesla and the futures not exactly moving as best friends. There's a little bit of animosity between those two. Because when I got the Tesla long as the futures were dropping, and that was part of what gave me confidence in that trade because I'm like, hey, kind of weird, we're moving in opposition to one another. Tesla right now, sort of trying to hold on to 261, then giving it right back up. So I might take this small position, bit of a scalp if we're able to retest that level. I might have missed I was going to say I might have missed the boat. I might have missed the Cybertruck on this one, but hopefully it can beep, beep, come back around, pick me up there for that trade.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to get long for a 260 dive. I'm going to have to give this a little bit of room, so we're going to give it down. I'm hearing myself, guys. I'm going to have to give this one a little bit of room if it does trigger, so we're going to go like that, and then we're going to go like this. Hopefully I can type it in time. There we go. and then we'll do that. So here we go. We're about to get filled, but if it crosses a quarter, we're going to have to give it 50 pennies. There we go. We're long at these levels. We're long at 25. So if it breaks down below, aggressively below the 260 level, that will be my line in the sand. So we'll look to get some out possibly if it does defend this level. So it's going to be very, very tight to see whether we get it. All right, we're nicely. All right, so that's a huge trade right there. All right, we just take that nicely up into 2/3 of a dollar. And we just took nicely there's 50 pennies super quick on TSLA as it did defend at 260. So nice trade there, but definitely we need to do a little bit better still with the size, but good 260 defend as it comes into the whole dollar level. Now, I got to tell you, I wouldn't stay in this one for all that long. It is below the volume weighted average price. I want to see what we do at the future here because we did dip down into 20,700, but I think Adira's point is well taken. The future and Tesla may not be doing the same dance with no pants because they're kind of moving in different ways, but that's not unusual for Tesla. Tesla kind of likes to march to the beat of its own drum, but the future definitely finding at least here some local support at 700. Nice 20 penny jump already on the NQ September contract off that 20,797 rejection. So good luck. Let's see what else is moving over here. So that would have been a nice dollar in the money here on the Cybertruck as it's right back into 261 and a third. So it does hold 260 awfully well. And took that out a little too quick. Softy holds 455. So the level here was 455, not 455 and a half at least. Good, nice 50 penny, 60 penny as I talk. Move up here on MSFT. So it does hold the general volume weighted average price area, but I'm less likely to want to base it on that and more to base it on essentially this area crest over here that exactly rejected off 455 because this candle really didn't breach 455 by all that much. I think by about 6 pennies we got into 454.94. So good look. Good recovery here for MSFT and for TSLA. The future holding 700 here. So these big 2 red candles, they come fast, they come furious, but it looks as if there may be some buying at set 700. Let's keep an eye on these names. Let's flip back quickly to the small cap gappers, see what's afoot. AEON has now broken down below 3 and VWAP, so I'm less inclined to want to take any sort of breakout trade on that. AMIX, not the same look. In fact, it's still holding VWAP, but the topping tail candles and the range per candle just too inconsistent for me, and really the volume dropping off quite aggressively. DJT, Donald John Trump, has been, for whatever reason, I don't know why, holding this 200 exponential on the 5. I mean, you had for whatever reason, the institutional prints at 8 bounced off it. This area crest, this area, we'll call it an area low, the IB low at 945 bounces off it. And yet again, right here, we're finding some support at the 200 exponential on the 5. Not one that I typically use intraday, but one for whatever reason is featuring here. And then to the north side, I'd say that the 220 exponential is featuring as your level of resistance. You've kind of popped up after that big boy Huadunk at the open, and both rejections awfully close to the 20 exponential. So I'll try to figure what's moving here in the small cap world. Huma definitely getting that bounce off 8 again. So whoever took that, whoever was asking you about the headline on Huma earlier, I hope they took it because a great double bottom. Well, not a double bottom, but definitely a bounce off the volume weighted average price and that 8 in general. Nice 30, 32 pennies in the money they're probably in now. Good look. Looking to weasel back into that 856 high a day there.
Yeah, Huma pretty humid there. Building
And it's
static
humid today.
electricity to the upside.
Oh, yeah.
It's also humid outside.
Oh, yeah.
Really humid.
Oh, yeah.
Like to think I was almost going to wear a blazer today, and then I was like, Adara, maybe that's not the vibe. It would not have been the vibe, for the record. Tesla, I want to echo. I want to shout out your awesome Tesla trade there. Shout out to Sharif's Cybertruck scalp.
Cyber scalp.
So nice look there. Scalper truck? I don't know. But I also got in that scalper truck to the downside. But I actually ended up only taking 20 pennies or less than this. I think it took 15 pennies. And the reason I did that is because I really want to echo Sharif's statement about Tesla trying to hold on to these higher highs. I got involved in the short because we were breaking down around that 261 and I wanted all the smoke. I wanted to scalp. It was okay for those purposes. But we get to 260, 50s, just I'm about to regret getting out of the trade when I did. It pops right back up to 80s. So Tesla is trying to curl higher here. At this point, a 261 long scalp would be something I'm interested in, but there's not really even enough for me to want the smoke in that right now. I think that lighter is also a little bit dense. We need that lighter fluid to recharge in either direction for me. We are seeing a bit of a topping tail candle, but I do not want to take my trade just in one candle, and that brings me to NVIDIA. NVIDIA, I have had a really abysmal read on today. It's like maybe the font in this book is too small or something, or like the language is not language I'm familiar with, but I'm really struggling to read NVIDIA today. Yeah, all book jokes aside, basically what happened was I took this short here, we had a topping tail candle, and the top of the topping tail candle was that area of resistance I identified earlier, 129.60. So I said to Dara, try it there. I should have known. I saw this. I was like, Dara, get out, get out. Yeah, I ended up losing like 15 pennies, so it's all good there. But now there is, I mean, not like I'm happy with it, but the most I could have made in it would have been 5 pennies. So obviously the risk to reward there was pretty bad on my part. But look here as well. 129.80 we get to, we whiffle, we waffle, we drop. We're trying to come back there again. If we keep rejecting this 129.80, below, look at this 90 MA rejection. That's pretty sweet. The one thing I don't like about it is the fact that we have VWAP to the downside, so that VWAP bounce could be pretty swift. But I want to see, yeah, okay, we're bouncing off 60s. So basically what I'm watching here in the book, because some people have asked, like, what do you look for when you're saying you're looking at the book? And I love answering questions like that. I wanted to see what we did here at 129.60s. We held it for a second. Now we're rejecting a little bit this 129.60 area. So if we keep rejecting that area, like I said, that I'd be interested in as a short, but I've definitely missed, I think, the opportunity on that. Should have gotten involved at 129.80s, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Ready to make some more trades. This Tesla at VWAP, I think I've had a bit of a, I'm more comfortable than reading Tesla today, and Tesla's been giving you some opportunities. I do want to shout out Shari's trade on that one. Once again, Lily is a banger, says Rivian Millionaire.
Oh.
I mean, anyone gives me the opportunity to look at my old pal, Mademoiselle, I'm going to take it. My read on this might not be as good as it once was, because this is not a book I've read in quite some time, but let's visit Eli Lilly. I was almost going to give a pushback.
That was a pseudo push.
It was a pseudo pushback.
Yeah.
Volume on Lilly, though, not bad at all here. I mentioned in sector recap, this is one of the better looking stocks here. We had a maintaining of a buy rating from Cantor Fitzgerald, maintaining of an $885 price target, but nothing else news-wise that I could see. Right now, though, this rejection off the NA. If this thing had a spread that was less than $1, which it is, I'd be interested in shorting this. I'm going to take a look at Novo Nordisk, because I know this one's had some ongoing governmental headlines, and that would be my other play for the weight loss. Novo might be better here. I like Novo. Look at this double rejection here of this 142.60. You don't want to call it double top because it's nowhere near the top, but we reject here at VWAP twice. Then we push below this previous support area, 142.10s, pushing lower. I want to see what we do with the 90 MA. Novo Nordisk, I don't know. If I want to put you on my side chart, I don't know if you deserve that spot. But if you want to drop a little bit more weight here from this 90 MA, I would certainly, let's Wegovy into that trade.
Oh,
how are you doing?
That's a pun machine gun right there. Yeah, I know, it's good. I like it. I'm watching the Zon here because until like right now, Ram, there was this triple bottom forming at 194.15, but that gave way. It's a bit better depicted on the 5-minute chart. So let me show you exactly what I was looking at over here. It was these boys over here and girls like, hanging out at that 194. I guess I said 17s was a low. This one made 15, obviously going down now. Here comes 194. I actually started looking at this for a 194 short. If it was to break 194, then I saw the triple bottoms. Whoa, Zon is really coming down. I saw the triple bottoms right there, and I'm like, okay, well, there's clearly a buyer at 17. Opened up the trading screen, looked at the book, and there was no buyer at that level, at least not one that was visible. There had to have been either an iceberg prior to that or just pulled the order, because there was really nothing to be had in terms of support at that level, and you can see that depicted on this candle because the bottom just dropped off on AMZN, goes 194. We have a low on this candle here, I believe, of high 80s, low 90s. Yeah, 91 right here on this level. Where do we find some support? Well, the IB low, first and foremost, is this candle over here. No, sorry, that's the institutional print. The IB low is over here at 930, and that takes us into 193.66. So, you know, we're about 20 pennies above the IB low right now, so we'll see if it does find a bid at set 66s or low 70s, whatever in that area. But AMZN weak on the day, down 1/3%. Definitely having trouble with the Bezos 200 level, or as we joke around here, call it the Bezos 200 level. We don't actually have.
I've seen other people say that as well. Like,
well, Neil says that,
well,
right?
No, but I've seen like articles and stuff. Like I've seen people on
the
Twitter.
Bezos level?
The Bezos 200 is like a thing.
Dang. Well, there you go.
So, you know, if other people say it, well, then it must be right. So
I'm not saying that, but no, it's cool. Yeah.
there goes the IB low on the ZON. The ZON is awfully weak, and so is the overall market. I didn't have eyes on that 20,700 drop, break, breach, whatever word you want to use. There it is. We tried triple bottom at 20,700. Then this candle came in to fruition, and Huadunk went the dynamite, trying to hold up above here the volume weighted average price at the ominous 20,666 level. We'll have to see if that level gets breached. For now, it is acting as support. But yeah, the future really starting to turn here now. You have Meta below the volume weighted average price, as well as Softy. Goggles trying to bounce off it. So is the future. Nvidia's been below VWAP. So is the law now. TSLA below that, breaking down below. Yeah, you know why I said the law? Because it was like this. It looked like that. It said LA.
Right,
So I was like, oh, the law. Anyway,
love
that's not what. Do you know what the law is? La? Not LA.
What?
50 Cent used to rap about this all the time.
Oh, Louisiana.
No. It means the weed.
Oh,
Twist
I
the
did
law.
not know that.
Yeah.
I really
well,
did
we
not
can
know
talk
that.
about it because cannabis is legal in this country,
is
and you can trade cannabis names, so we're good there. But yeah, the whole point, she's like, I just want to chill and twist the law.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
745. Come on now.
Wow.
That's 21 questions. There you go.
Oh, I know that song. Okay, look at me.
Yeah. Well, because you punch outside your weight class,
I
you
do
can't
like that
you
song.
can't blame me for expecting you to know, right?
That's an L. That's an L. on my
There you
part.
go. There you go. Yeah, but Amazon coming in, everything really here dropping, guys. So Meta 500 in play right now. Very interesting area. I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah, I just scalped the cues on that short there. I am a little disappointed in myself because I should have gotten involved with that 82.55s. I ended up getting about 30 pennies later on the TQs as we had that VWAP. I watched a couple times. I watched a couple times there. See what we did at the VWAP area, 82.23s around the WAP, as Sharif sometimes calls it. Got involved, I think 24s. I want to say 24s. And basically, I got there initially, got out 40 pennies in the position about. Or so 40% of the position, about 6 pennies in the money. Someone was asking like what we say when we mean pennies. It's just like cents, like 5 cents, 6 cents.
Yeah.
That's what we mean by that, just to clarify. So I want to make sure that's clear because I did see a couple questions about that. Then I noticed, I really wanted my 82 breakdown, but I said, Adara, if you're not going to get it, this is my huge issue with Tesla, is getting greedy over levels that didn't even make sense. I'm like, Adara, you got to the move pretty late. If you could just take your 15, 14 pennies here, if we get to the 82.10s, take that, be glad. Took that, we popped higher, so really happy with what we did here. If we keep bouncing now off this 82.49s, I will take it long, but it looks like we want to continue to chop and turn short. Either way, anything I'm doing is scalping, but I wanted to talk about that short because I was pretty proud of myself for trying to get in on that move. NVDA getting a skosh spicy here as we approach that 129s. This was another short I tried to get in on and was not nearly aggressive enough, so no one to blame for that but myself. Tesla breaking down decisively below that 260 level. Tesla had a nice little downtrend here, but Tesla has been bamboozling because as Sharif mentioned, when we broke that, held that 260 back up to 261, it'll break these dollar levels and then try to be strong for a bit. So Tesla, you definitely have to be patient with. That's why I've been involved in this name less and only when I'm really, really, really obsessed with what I'm seeing on this. So I want to keep an eye on TSLA. If we have a 260 test and breakdown, I'll take it short. If we have a test and hold, I'll take it long. I do want to shout out your trade on that again because that was fantastic. But I want to look at some of my other side charts as well because I had PDD on my side chart because this is one of my favorite Chinese ADRs to play, and that's because I do like the more expensive stocks. Maybe I'm a little bougie with my stocks, so I'm joking, but I like the way they move better. PDD is one of the beefier Chinese ADRs in that department. And PDD is trying to break below the 90 in May. 3. To be clear, there is a bit of a range here. This 138.50 to 138.80 is like a 30 penny range. But I do like that we broke lower. We're having a bit of a bottoming tail candle. If we can't hold this, I would be interested in shorting PDD. Baidu is another one I had levels on as well. And we're actually at one of those levels right now, 93.50. Why did I like 93.50 on Baidu? Look at this. We come down here. We try to have, on the 3-minute chart at least earlier, we had a bit of a flat top break. We broke it, then we rejected. Then we made lower highs, higher lows. Then we're trying to flip back higher. So this weird little bull shape we have going on here at this 93.50 area, and Baidu is deeply enticing. And you know what? I like it better than PDD. So that replaced my other Chinese ADR. Baidu is going on that side chart. Also, AVGO is looking to AVGO at VWAP. We're at VWAP here on Broadcom. Volume not bad, about 10 million shares. I like this bottoming tail candle. I also like that it's coming into that previous area of pre-market resistance. I actually think I also wrote down on my tickers to look at document or on this 170.70, but I don't have a clear enough read in this, and I don't love the 7-penny spread. How are you doing?
Good. I missed that 500 meta dip. It held quite well. The low there was 499.62. By the time I got to it, I had already been retracing. So now I'm going to do a different trade off the VWAP hold on meta because the closing print did retrace north of VWAP. So if it makes a new 5-minute candle to make a new high above that 501.02, I'm looking to go long 501.05. See if we can retrace a little bit here and hold the volume weighted average price on meta. I am looking for a bit of a stronger day on the Zuck train today. The only reason is we got shellacked Thursday and Friday. This one did not recover in the way that some of the other names recovered, like Apple and Tesla on Friday from the shellacking that we got on Thursday. So I'm looking for a bit of a better day. Let's see. You know, that bias may help me, it may hurt me. We'll see on that name. Manuel Palma telling me that QuantumScape is testing highs again, and QS came into our purview last week once we heard that they were changing the deal that they had there with Volkswagen from a joint venture into a licensing agreement for potentially here to create en masse or at least industrialize the production of solid-state batteries, which is kind of like the holy grail in battery technology, at least for EVs anyway. So we'll have to wait and see. QuantumScape closed out the week last week at 8.25. High day today, 850. Shout out to Manuel Palma. Good eye there. I do like that analysis because we're right at that 850 that we rejected off on the IB high. That was the print there at the highest print at 930, and it's still the high of the day. And then we also have a very clear low to the downside here, which is $8. So somebody, don't know who, but somebody's buying up a storm here on QuantumScape at $8. And as I said last week, and I'm going to reiterate it again today, sure, it's showing up on the small cap gapper, but this company is working in a field that is very important for a very strong burgeoning technology. If they get it right, this thing could absolutely skyrocket. It's not financial advice, but you need to be alert of that.
GME popping up in volume.
Go. Take it.
Yeah, sorry, I just didn't mean to.
No. It's
also,
more
QuantumScape
important.
reports the week after next.
Thank you for
or
that.
Sorry, actually,
That's
no,
important.
next week.
Next week, eh?
I always get the week ahead. No, it started way in advance, so then my brain gets all confused about the
right.
weeks. But no, so QuantumScape next week. So just be aware of that, guys. But I just wanted to add that when I heard that. Yeah, biggest green candle of the day by a little bit for Gimme. Gimme 27s is what GME is trying to say here, or at least on a closing basis. And I got to say, Sharif.
Yes.
VWAP bounce?
Uh-oh.
VWAP bounce?
Uh-oh.
Like even before this volume pop, this did not look bad at all.
Not bad.
Much like what we had with Baidu, although I hate that I'm comparing GME to
And we have
Baidu.
a support resistance flip.
Exactly, right? We do have that. We do have that support resistance flip flop. We did have all these tail candles wicking in here. Hold that really now. Well, also we're bouncing off that previous resistance we had here at the top of this. I guess what was trying to be a bit of a bull flag, this 2660. So this is not a bad look at all for me for GME. No levels I would get in on unless we test, and again, I want to shout out to Sharif for pointing this out, that 2660. Unless we test 2660 again, that previous top that we're now kind of trying to have this bounce off of. In addition to that other previous bounce of 2620. So you do have a couple levels here on GME. This is shorting GME says.
Are you not going to mention the new colors on your?
Oh yeah, I should.
Level 2 there?
So yeah, I know you have your colors.
I have
as
to
well.
make
A
them
lot of the
bigger,
guys have the colors on the level 2. And I was talking to some of the guys on Friday, and they were all saying, especially if you like book scalping, you should really get the colors on your level 2. And this actually has been really helpful to me. I chose a fun little, I guess.
I know you like that color because
beachy.
that's the color you used to put the highlights on the notes.
I do,
so
yeah.
I know for a fact you like that color.
I love that color. I also have my nails, like that whole ombre at one point as well, like
that's
the
cool.
peach to pink. So this is certainly a color scheme I like. But I kept meaning to mention that, so thank you, Sharif, for pointing that out. Yeah, the colors are helping me with my order book for the scalping. I think it has been mostly effective. I did take about another 15 pennies there on another TQ scalp. I will continue. I would like to scalp this buy as well, but TQs I feel a little bit better about for scalp purposes because I can take them with a little bit more size with my buying power. So yeah, going to continue to try to do that. TQs though, I am not saying in a scalp short beyond that 8230s. No sir, no ma'am, no person, because we keep bouncing off that VWAP level. I do not want any of that smoke. Also guys, to address Powell related comments, Mr. J. Powell is supposed to be speaking. I saw a couple things saying 12, but the overwhelming thing I saw was that he's starting at 12:30, and the stream, the official stream, doesn't even start till 12:15. So just so you guys know, I am on this. I am awaiting it, but there's no comments from him right now. Also, I think they could have chosen a more flattering photo. of J Powell.
Yeah, I know. What is it? Why his lips pressed like that?
He looks like a little bit like confused.
Get it together, Jerome.
Right. Well, no, get the other people who chose this photo of Jerome. Also, I always find it really interesting, too, that I know we have POWW up because we had the ammo and the Trump-related stocks, but it's funny that Powell is running when we have Powell speaking.
I like that. Yeah, Powell. Shout out to
That's all I have to say right now.
Yeah, all right. I've set up a couple of trades here on dips, and one's a pop, one's a dip. So if Meta breaks 501 and 5 cents to make a new candle high above these two here, especially with these higher low bottoming tails, I'm going long. So the order's already in place. I'm also looking to defend break even on MSFT. So if it comes into 453, 55, I'm going long. So both those orders already put. They're resting at the moment, taking a break, catching its breath. I'm joking, guys, because resting orders, that just means they're just waiting there on the chart. But I'm looking to go long above this 501 area, which is an area top, higher lows coming in there on Meta. I'm also looking to defend that white line, which is Friday's closing print on MSFT. Doesn't look like it's going to come in, though, as it's popping right back up into that 454 and a third. But if it does come into this area, we'll look to defend the closing print on Friday. What else is moving over here? I mean, so a bit of a mixed bag. Goggles trying to hang out above 187 at the volume weighted average price. So you have some names that are defending VWAP, some are not. But I got to tell you, the future here looks like it did take a bit of a dive. Well, over 100 points off the top now, 20,797. We're at 20,677. So we're definitely 120 points off said top. There are names that are faring better than others. I'd say NVIDIA looks awfully weak on this day. It did have umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles in that low 128s. So we're at 128.50 some odd area. Okay, I'm long Meta here, so now I need to concentrate on this. We're long at 15s. I always get the worst price. So we're going to have to see if we can hold up here on Meta. This is going to have to be a bigger trade. Otherwise, I will not let this one go. So what did I just do? Did I just add, or what did I do here? Let me just see. No, I didn't. Okay. So, yeah, so I'm just trying to put my out on this one. So let's go ahead and say 501, and we'll go 75 or something like that, 74s. We'll sit in and around there. So we'll put that beak wetter out there. The out, though, is going to have to be the break of 50-50. It's 550. So we're going to go like that, and then we'll take out the entire thing there if it does break out said $0.50. So I'm looking for Meta to recover at the volume weighted average price. We'll have to see. This could be futures dependent here. I mean, I'm really unsure about this name. I'm also displeased with the area that I got the entry because I did put 501.05 and I gave it 10 pennies, obviously, because it is Meta. So I ended up getting filled at the most extreme, the highest area. So a bit of a tougher trade, but we'll see if we can weasel some profits off this name. I'm hanging out at the $0.75 right now to weasel my way out there. And there we go. So we'll take out a little bit over here as it does come into that area. Nice. Okay, perfect. Good trade on Meta. Nice. This is exactly what I wanted, and I got the right trade. So nicely in the money now, but about 65 pennies in the money. We'll see if we can weasel our way into the 10 exponential on the 5. That is hanging out at 502. So my next beak wetter on META will be in the high 501s, so we'll hang out maybe like low 90s or something like that. But I gotta tell you, the break of 501 gets me out here. So now we're gonna have to adjust the stop, and we're gonna go 500, and we're gonna not give this much room at all. So it has to hold that level. Otherwise, I want zero smoke. So we're gonna put that in, and now we have put in set stop, and now it looks like it may stop me out here for the remaining amount as it's coming back down into 11s again. But yeah, that's just the way the nature of the beast is on Meta. If you don't like it, don't trade it. But it is a bit of a monster when it does come to set spread. The soft one was probably the better trade here. It rocketed up off that 454 hold, and now it's at 455 and a quarter. Come on, bro. I just wanted a little bit lower of a print. I'm still waiting on the soft one at 455, 453.55, and it did dip down to 453.88. Okay, so it didn't come that close, but I definitely had the right idea on MSFT to defend Friday's closing print. I think that probably would have been a better trade than the
Then the green candle will make a new high trade on Meta. Alas, we're nicely in the money on this one. I don't want to take it out quite yet. I want to see if it can weasel its way up into that 502 area. I'm getting 59 prints right now, 58 prints. We'll see if we can get a little bit higher here. But yeah, definitely some, you know, midday weakness coming in on the market. No question about it, at least on the Mag 7, that is, as the more or the less liquid type of time of day takes hold at the moment here, Adair, about noon. Yeah, it's noon right now. All right, still waiting on this Meta. Now we're getting 62s here on the ask. I'm waiting in the mid-90s for a print. Meta now up 0.5% on the day, $2.75 off the closing print on Friday. But the last little out on Meta, a little elusive, so I'm going to probably have to pack my patience on this one. What else are you guys trading? Dude Huma says Dandy. Dandy?
Dandy?
Yeah, his name is Dandy.
Hopefully he's fine and dandy with his trades today.
That's good. That's good. All right. Maybe things mean different things now. Let's go ahead and look at Huma and see what's up with Huma.
Well,
So yeah,
him. No, I'm joking.
there you go. I knew something was coming there, Adair. There's no way that something can't come there. All right, HUMA, great look. Shout out to Dandy, because that is a hell of a move there on HUMA. And Dandy, I like this 1130 dip into the volume weighted average price that holds at $8 area. And then the best part about this whole thing is you get the break of the high at $8.55 on a closing basis, not just a quick wick. And thank you, HUMA. Let's look over here, some of the indicators. I have these indicators up on purpose so that it forces me to use them when doing the analysis. Now, I should probably, you guys already know when you see histograms, it's going to be MACD, but this one, the blue one over here, is ATR, average true range. The top one is RSI. The reason I have these up there is so that I can use them. I want to practice using them. So that's what I put that up there for. You can see here RSI in elevated territory, but you did get that moving average convergence divergence cross, even though you've got the cross umpteen amount of times on the day. So it looks a little bullish at these levels. So let me know how that does. Good look today, no question about HUMA. Meta coming back down off that 2/3 area, coming back into $0.25. So at least for the moment, I don't get my 502-ish. 501 high mid-90s print there on MET. I'm gonna have to pack my patience.
Yeah, I would love to say that I've done things since sitting here while you were talking. I want to shout out your Meta fill there.
Appreciate it.
Had that beak weta on Meta. But also, yeah, shout out as always to Fabian, Ramin, and everyone production for killing it. But yeah, so this TSLA, I would love to say I've done anything but watch Tesla, but that would be a lie. And we don't lie here at Trader TV Live, although it has lie sound in it. Live. Not the point. I'm really proud of this scalp here. I actually ended up taking out near the low of this pop. I didn't get lows, like we did go a little bit lower, but I was really proud of this scalp. I saw us come to 259s. I wanted that smoke to the downside. Ended up taking, I was gonna say like, what did we take here? We took like 30 pennies here. Basically, I watched that 259 breakdown. I was not gonna chase waterfalls. I said, stay at 259.98 or 258.98. If you don't get filled, you don't get filled, Dara. But you're not gonna chase. So I didn't chase. We ended up getting filled. Basically, the plan was, you guys know what I'm like. If I see anything distinctly different in the book, I get out. We stayed below 259, so I was able to take my 30 pennies. I saw the book slow, got out. Then this 260 got extremely bamboozling. I initially wanted the long top here off that first push higher at that 259.70s. Wasn't able to get filled there. La-di-da-di-da. We pushed lower, broke above, got to 260.70s before selling off aggressively. Now we're doing the dance, the wick shimmy dance, around 260. So that has been a really interesting one to watch here. Not one that I'm comfortable trading right now, but happy with the scalps I've been taking. I have been only taking trades I feel confident in, which is what we really want. That's what you want. Or confidera, as Darwin said. Also, one more time, I do want to say, because we have some questions about this in the chat, no Fed meeting today, but Fed Chair Powell speaking at the Economic Club of Washington. Shout out to Nimitz, who was saying, is this going to be a nothing burger? I said, with Jerome Powell, you really never know. He could say some things of note, but you guys know me. I love listening to Jay Powell talk. It's legitimately one of my favorite things.
Oh, yeah.
I find him really entertaining, and I love the way he sidesteps questions that people shouldn't be asking him, because he will not comment on them. So you guys know I will give you all of the 411 on the JPOW if he says anything of note there. Also, make sure whenever tickers you're looking at, because I know you guys are probably looking at lots of tickers today, we have DJT, you've got GME, you've got POWW, not a JPOW ticker, in case you didn't know. Go involved there in the chat. Exclamation point, join. TSLA, AMC, META, Amazon, whatever ticker you guys want to look at, as long as there's some volume, as long as there's some rustle going on there. There's so much. Speaking of which, you could actually do the rustle. You could do IWM.
Remember,
I'm seeing some questions about that.
Remember
So
Larry Fink?
Pardon?
You know Larry Fink, the guy from BlackRock?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever knew this, but he was like one of the biggest crypto bears. He thought crypto was a flaming piece of you know what.
Did not know that.
Yeah, this dude today on Squawk on the Street with Kramer just completely changed his tune with respect to Kirk. I love watching this. Well, number one, it shows, that they can admit that they're wrong.
Yeah.
And number two, it's validation, proof of concept here when the big boys, like the Fink man, comes in and gives crypto the endorsement. So interesting look there.
That is very fast.
Okay. So now I think I'm short meta over here as it did break down below said level. Let's see what we're going to do over here with the 35s. I do want to see if it's going to print a little bit lower. If we can get a little bit lower on the Meta 500 dip over here, let's see how it does at this level. We're short 35s. It breaks above the $0.50. That's it. I did get this short here to see if it switched down from the bullish look that we had on Meta because it had breached the volume weighted average price again. So here comes that 500 break. Let's see if we can get that 500 break on the way down. Here it comes, 05s on the bid. There it is. Nice. We'll take 50 pennies quickly right there on META. So decent look. This one also coming in to my blotter. Again, we don't usually cover politics, but Reuters is reporting that Trump's running mate, bless you, Adara, could be announced as early as today, says Monday at the Republican National.
He apparently said he was going to announce today.
Yeah?
Yeah, he said it in Fox. I announced this earlier.
Oh, you did, eh?
It didn't move much when he said that, but just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unlikely to be, hugely market moving, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on because of DJT. All right, so Meta continuing to move down here, but there is a bit of a buyer at 500. So I'm happy I covered where I was, where I did, but I want to see what it does at 500. There's a lot of tug of war happening back and forth right now between buyers and sellers at 500. So we'll see how this one resolves. Day trader cut breaking. Yes, I just finished saying that day trader cut, but thank you. Yeah, we think, obviously, you and I think in the same way here. Trump said making his VP announcement today at around 4:30. Oh, okay.
So it could be a post-market
Oh,
Trump pump.
There you go.
Donald John pump.
Was that 5 or 4? I just wanted to put up my hand for 5.
I think it was
4. It's all good.
We'll say 4.
All right, let's go. You put join SMCI, and I think the Katina man, the Neil, definitely want to look at that for you, but they're not gonna because you didn't put a space in between the word join and the ticker and the $. So make sure resubmit that. Let it go. Join space $. SMCI. Make sure you're getting that space, or Streamlab gets very upset, and it will not count your vote. Ram, look at the move that AMZN is doing. We are breaking through all said levels. Amazon, guys, Amazon has been weak lately ever since it has not been able to break through the 200 Bezos level. We've been at this 200 Bezos level for a hot minute, and we are unable to break it on a closing basis. There are these outlying wicks that you can see on days that get us into the low to mid 201s. Alas, we are kind of maybe, I'm not calling this a rounded top, but maybe we're getting a bit of a rounded top here with that 200 acting as the middle of the top, and now we're incrementally making lower highs and lower lows. We got shellacked on Thursday, and then on Friday, we didn't really recover all that much. We were quite consolidative on Friday, not really making any lower lows. Definitely an inside day, but today we break through Thursday's lows, at least for the moment, 192.46 on the low of day on AMZN. We'll talk about that and much more when we do get back from Neil's lesson of the day.
Welcome to the lesson of the day, and I had my mute button on just now, and then I heard Sharif, to the lesson of the day. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should have a working microphone. No, I think, it's an easy one today. I feel like there's only one thing that I could have made the lesson of the day, and it's going to be what happened on Funware. And we're going to talk about this because I liked it for a sympathy short, and I'm down on the stock when the stock really went down. So just to give you the lay of the land here, DJT, I'll throw DJT up somewhere else just so you guys can see. DJT with the strong move up over overnight, and you saw what happened over the weekend as well. But it was a big time volume leader. A lot of eyeballs were going to be interested to see if it could break it out. And it looked like, at least going into the open, that was going to be the case. You were holding 45, you were trending to the upside. So I was looking like a lot of other people, hey, what happens if it takes out the top? Do we take a breakout on DJT? Probably we're going to take a breakout. If it halts to the upside, hey, I'm going to go into the long on any kind of a up halt. So if it starts going, I wanted to join that trend. I was even looking dip buy at the 42 level, which didn't work out on DJT. But much like with GameStop and the other memes when it was going, I always had a sympathy name that I would play in the other direction. If we had a strong move and a retracement and a fill in the gap, I wanted to take something that was up on sympathy and didn't have as much of a direct reason to be flying and short that. That was Funware today. So I'll give you an idea. What happened to me on Funware was immediately you lost support on DJT. So I went for the first available short on that trend down, which was shorting the $7 level. And then I scalped in and then scalped out here. Like, why did I scalp out? I'll give you the reason why, and then I'll give you why it was wrong. So because DJT, I keep saying DWAC, DJT was bouncing off that 42 support level and attempting to, even on a 3-minute, it's still trend down. I got out of the trade here flat. I'm like, no, DJT's holding 42. I shouldn't stay the course with the short in Funware. So that was mistake number one. As you can see, there wasn't any real traction in the long term. So we end up getting out of what should have been the first winning short on Funware for a hit. Then we continue trend down. I get a consolidation short on Funware again. This was a good out because DJT did make a bit of a bottom. So we're 0 for 2 at this particular point on Funware, where I should have been 1 for 2 and the first one should have been huge. But it is what it is. At that point, the only thing that I did correct was, hey, if the thesis is still good, just go back to the well. It ends up holding the lower high. We grab the consolidation. So even with strength back into VWAP and Funware, you're going to have in DJT, Funware holds that lower high, and we jump back into that trend. So it does end up working, but it's all about the nuance of the execution here. These are both 3-minute charts. And if you are using what's going on in DWAC for that sympathy short, in this moment, right at the open at 9:30, when I'm in the consolidation short, you can't have a round number change my reaction to what is going on here. And that round number was 42. Like, it wicked under 42 and came back above. That was it. That was my reason for getting out at 7 here. Instead of just giving it to the consolidation level, giving it to the pre-market high, or any other normal way to structure that short, I basically locked into a number on DJT or a level on DJT to cover the short in Funware, which is nonsensical. It's a mistake that I made. Obviously, you can see we should have just stayed net short in this one. And the worst part about it is, it's always going to happen when you have the most. Like, that's when I had the most, was right in here when it was at that first confident level at $7. So it was a mistake that got made. Now, obviously, if DJT is bouncing and showing me a reversal candle like it did at 9:45, then totally defensible to want to get out of Funware when it breaks a level like 7 even, because it's actually shown you buyers on DJT to want to cover Funware. That's why this loss, I don't have a problem with that. We're getting out, we take this short, we're getting out when you're seeing strength over in DJT. It's confirming that I should want to get out and look for another re-entry point, which ended up happening right away. So if you are, whether you're trading, it could be Apple versus the futures. I mean, it could be GameStop versus AMC. It doesn't really matter. If you are using a leading indicator to get into a position or to give you extra confidence to get into position, then you actually have to see something distinct happen on that leading indicator if that is going to be your out. Because clearly the trend was immediately to the downside. We identified it, but then I had the very quick trigger finger to get out of that trade. So I think that was an obvious mistake. It's pretty clean to see. Like, you'll look at that chart and say, why would anybody get out there? because of some nonsense I saw at 42 that didn't confirm much of anything. So I think everybody is always trying to get better, learn every single trading day. When using a leading indicator to get into the trade, make sure you actually see a good reason to get out. Because when you have an idea that just sits there trending the entire way, you're looking for excuses to stay in the trend, not looking for excuses to get out of the trend. That's the last thing you want to be doing. So lesson of the day is pretty darn simple. Ensure that your reason to get into a trade, whatever it might be, but especially if it's a leading indicator, make sure it actually breaks the trend or shows traders or positions against what you are looking for. Stick with the trend until it's proven to be broken, either on your individual name or on that leading indicator, or preferably both. Clearly, Funwerk was an easy short all day long, but it doesn't mean everyone's going to be perfect. You just got to be able to be a little bit better each and every single day. That's your lesson of the day.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back here. Thank you so much to Neil.
Look at this
for that
strawberry.
lesson of the day. As Sharif always says, it's always informative, it's always insightful, and we're always so happy to have Neil there to deliver that lesson. Right now, I'm in the Q short. I would like to see these Qs answer the question of, are we going to go down further with a resounding yes? A yes. Right now, I'm like 6 pennies out of the money, 5 pennies out of the money. As long as we don't have like a nice, decisive break back above this 81.70s, I'll be getting out. I think we might be forming a bit of a bottoming tail candle, which I do not love, but I want to see us okay, there we go. I want to see us retest. What I was going to say is I wanted to see a retest of 70s. We retested, we broke below, so I'm like cool with that. But really right now, we can't even really break below my point of entry. So the way that I am as a trader, I don't like the look of this. I'm going to get out here. I want to see us one more time at 65s, but if I can't see that, I have to leave because I had a pretty bad entry on this. I should have been getting, lost about 3 pennies, so I shouldn't be clapping for that, but I will be clapping for trusting my instincts because I think that's something that is laudable. We are waiting here for Jerome Powell, and I have to say, I talk about this always, the music that they play before an event matters to me, and they're playing some nice snazzy jazz, much better than the GameStop music, which I told you guys I did not like the music at the GameStop event at all. I dislike that music. So happy with the snazzy jazz. Also happy I trusted myself with TQs. I would have been like 20 pennies out of the money had I stayed, but I trusted myself and I left. So please just punch for trusting your instincts. But right now, what instincts are we seeing over here?
I'm seeing Amazon absolutely getting shellacked, Adara, and it is by far the reddest of the names in Mag 7 world on the day. And you know, you looking at this headline, you wouldn't think that. Amazon set to top last year's Prime Day results due to early deals. Analysts say early deals could be tighter margins, right? The more we cut, the more we give up in profit. Not really sure. I didn't read this entire thing. Don't really want to at the moment. But all I know is the price action is telling me all I need to know about how the market feels on AMZN right now. It's at 191.75, a cool and gnarly 8 3/4 off that $200 level, and it's on the way down here. AMZN is awfully weak. Here comes a $0.50 on the day. This is uninterrupted selling, Katina, man. 5 red candles on the 5-minute, big boy red candles too. Not like your little, wicking down, and they're closing towards the low of the candle. There's a lot of weakness right now in AMZN. It's on the way down 1.5% to the downside. Here comes 191 and a third. We're low right now at 45, trying to hold up above that $0.50. And this blew through all the levels, right? I mean, your IB low, it kind of consolidated a little bit at the IB low at 193 and 2/3. But then once that level broke, the IB level went the ways of yesteryear, it really went south. So we'll have to see if it can find some support here. Let's zoom out and figure out possibly where we could encounter set support. Well, we're at this 191 and a third. It's continuing to make lows right now. So this is an interesting area. We do have an area crest over here from June 24th at 191. So 191 generally here could be an area of support for AMZN. What a flush down. This is the 30-minute chart. So now there are 4 red candles in a row unabated on the half-an-hour chart on AMZN. So a lot of weakness for whatever reason here on the... You know what I called Blue Origin last week? You know what I remember?
What?
I called it Blue Ocean.
Oh, it is Blue Ocean. You just called it Blue Origin.
Origin,
You
yeah.
just did the opposite. Because you said, remember when I called Blue Origin last week? Blue Ocean.
Yeah, I know. So I called it Blue Ocean. The exchange, overnight exchange called Blue Ocean.
Yeah.
I forgot I called it Blue Ocean rather than calling it Blue Origin.
I thought it was Blue Ocean.
No, Blue Ocean is the exchange.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
so
the
confused.
overnight exchange. Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
bad,
So that's,
sorry.
I made the same mistake last week too, so it's like not beyond the.
Good times.
Wow, Amazon is flushing. Guys, I'm not going to be convinced that nothing's happening on Amazon over here. This thing is really headed down, guys. We're $6 off the high right now. AMZN is flushing 190.75. It's really giving up the ghost here. I'm not getting anything on my blotter to explain what's happening. The last time I got anything was 12.09, and that was the result, the Amazon Prime results day, and it was bullish rather than bearish. So this thing's really selling off here, and I'm not sure what's going on in there.
Yeah, I mean, last time, too, we had that big move down with Amazon, and there was no catalyst. I mean, there was Rufus, but Rufus was earlier, right? So we'll have to wait and see here on AMZN. SPY, much like the TQ short I tried to take, don't love this entry, but I'm going to stay in this position for the time being as long as I don't see us basically use that 562.28 as support, then I'm willing to stay in. If we do end up bouncing off that, I will have to leave. Right now, it looks like we're trying to bounce on the book, so I have to be cognizant of that. Heard some clapping at this event, but I do not see any JPOW. I repeat, no JPOW sightings, but the music seems to have wound down. And by the way, I did love that jazz. People who are making events that I have to listen to, heads up, the snazzy jazz music for your entry music is a vibe. But yeah, so right now we are... Yeah, I'm not seeing him, but I am hearing some clapping here, so I will you guys know when we get some more deets there on JPOW. Right now, though, if the SPY grinds back up towards this 562.50, I'm going to have to get out. So it looks like it is my time to, my eyes are will be on the SPY, but I will be exiting the SPY. Come on, SPY, let me leave. Thank you very much. But yeah, there we go. Not a great point of entry, so that's very much an L on my part. I should have waited for the retest of 562.50, so no regrets there. Happy with how the trading's been going so far today for the most part. And we're going to be waiting to see. Snaz Jazz is bullish, says John Szymanski. Let's find out if it is, in fact, bullish. GME, some people were asking about too. So ahead of Powell, by the way, the Jazz restarted, which I love. Oh my gosh, this jazz piano is making me want to get in front of a Steinway right now. GME.
5.
Yeah, that's fine. GME, look at this. Look at this bounce here off the 9 EMA. This is beautiful.
That is good.
This is gorgeous.
It's got that magnetic effect that the one that Canoe talked about.
The magnetic effect is real, and you see it on the book and you see it on the chart. In this case, GME, you see it as GMA tries to join its own 27 club at that $27 level. Look at these 9 EMA bounces here. We had all these bottoming tail candles at that 27, 2680s. We had a couple topping tail candles as well, mind you, but I think if this can break above 27, it will be a great look. Not one that I'm comfortable entering right now, just because with my style, I find GME is not always really equipped for tape scalps, so I want to be very cognizant of that. Happy I left the SPY where I did. The SPY pushing higher. The SPY is not falling. The SPY is trying to rise here back into VWAP. But if we reject VWAP, I would like to short the SPY. Seeing the TQs also curl back up here. Also, I'm loving this jazz piano. It's making me feel at home. How are you doing?
I like it. I'm just looking at the market here, man. Wow. That was a hell of a move down. So the market did flush. Shout out to Big Spy Old Burdette because he was talking about the market flushing there. And Raymond, if I can show this, 20,600 did come into play. So now we are at the lows. We're 200 points of range right now, guys, on said market. We did basically all but touch 20,800, getting up to 20,797. And now this candle over here, the one that we're currently in on the 5-minute chart, did move down into 20,603 and a quarter. So from top to bottom on the day, we are 200 points worth of range. And that's just basically after the bell. We haven't even taken well, yeah, that's actually... Well, actually, we were lower at the bell there. We got to 20,000. We broke 20,600 at the bell. All right, well, there we go. So holding 600, about 50 points off that level right now. He's moved back into 20,650, and you're getting a lot of green right now on some of these charts over here. AMZN putting a nice, gnarly kind of hammer bottoming tail candle. It still hasn't made a new high above the previous 5-minute candle, so we'll have to wait for that. But Meta, right as quick as it breached that 499 generally area, $499 is the area that it closed out on Friday, 498.75 it looks like. right back into 500, right back into that volume weighted average price. But this is obviously a level of resistance because we kept bouncing off VWAP earlier until the Huadun came in at 5 afternoon. So right now, do we reclaim that 550 volume weighted average price area, or do we find some local resistance around here? So I'm packing my patience right now. I don't feel like I need to jump into any of these trades, but possibly the winds of change coming in on the market. Maybe the down move is done. Not going to call that at the moment. Definitely want to see a little bit more before we glean that. I'm also interested in Huma over here, HUMA. Shout out to the person who was telling me about this. I forgot their name in the chat because this 850 level is interesting. Now, it looks like Huma, you know, you're going to have to size into this one because it's not giving you like that big notional move. You get in at 50, print 880s or 890s in like 10, 15 minutes. No, it feels like you really need to wait for your levels to come in, or you're going to have to pack your patience on the ascension or, descent if you're taking it short. The reason I say that is because look, like if I was to get in at 850 right here, what's a high day? What's the best I could print in terms of, the high of day? It's 870, so that's 20 pennies. Really, I don't really feel that's all that much on the small cap gapper name, but I'm going to watch it a little bit more. I think if this 50-ish area holds up, then we can get another curl to test said high day. So we'll keep tabs on that. All right, Elon, regarding the robo-taxi delay being sent by Brendo, here's what Elon X tweeted, whatever. Requested what I think is an important design change to the front, and extra time allows us to show off a few other things. Elon just tweeting that right now regarding the robo-taxi delay, which sent this stock absolutely tanking last week after 11 days of uninterrupted gains. It's back to being green on the year, about 4 2/3% green on the year. It's up 4 almost 3/4 right now. So we'll have to see whether or not Tesla starts making moves, Ram, to the high side here after our friend Elon just tweeted. And here we go, Tesla finding a little bit of a support at 257.5, and now it's at 260.5, so already $3 off that bottom. The volume weighted average price on TSLA is generally in that 261 area. So let's see if the Elon tweet can help send Tesla near back those highs there. But I gotta tell you, just aside from the Elon news, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things if we get the robo-taxi in August versus October? We're talking about years and years and years of development, right?
Yeah.
Are we really going to care too much about 2 months? Or is there a chance that someone front runs him and gets the better publicity? Because we've been seeing people front run him.
That's a good point. We have the Baidu talk here about robo-taxi. That was a thing a while ago. So, here's my thing.
Go.
I think a lot of Tesla analysts seem to think that also the chat seems to be live because every time I saw against people clap. I'm still not seeing JPow. But I just wanted to keep my JPow update there. But no, so I think honestly what I'm seeing is a lot of analysts and people we've had as well. Sean and I were talking about this. I'm not really sure with the cyber taxi, the robo taxi, I think Tesla has so much else going on that this is probably just one small part of the story. I think maybe why it dropped as well is this got reported, and I think I've always said this, I think the timing of the robo taxi announcements on Elon's part was a bit sketchy because he says August 8th, and he said August 8th, the day, if you guys recall, that we had that big drop on Tesla when Reuters reported the Model 2 was going to be pushed back. He said that the same night.
Yeah, he did.
So I think the timing of the robo taxi announcement was a little... I smelled the winds of change a little bit in the air. And I'm not saying, that wasn't planned. I'm just saying I think that that's something worth noting as well in the grand scheme of the context for that story. Tesla's got enough going on, who knows? But I think you're right. The front running is probably the one area they would have to be concerned.
All right, big smiles, sounds like Elon covering for himself yet again. Be nice, big smile. What is the legalities of the robotaxi? How will insurance handle that? These are all great questions, brother. But that's the beautiful thing about living in the West. We have freedom of contract, so you're going to be able to contract into that, I'm assuming, some way, somehow, with some of these insurance companies. We'll have to see how that works out. That's going to be really interesting to see how robotaxis could change, possibly, the insurance industry. That's another great perspective there. So shout out to Big Spile Burdette. Yeah, absolutely. Goes on to say, won't the Department of Transportation have to pass laws allowing driverless cars, and then each state have to do the same. Each state in the USA has its own Department of Transport. Yeah, I'm thinking this is likely going to be a state-by-state thing rather than, a Department of, well, in Canada, we have transport as both branches of government have a hand in it, the Fed and the province, depending on whether it's interprovincial transport or intra-provincial transport. Obviously, intra being given to the province. We'll have to wait and see. That's digressing a little bit. All right. I'm seeing people talk about Apple being at the volume-weighted average price. Yeah, look, I'm not going to trade Apple as a breakout trade today unless I see a breakout or a breakdown below these key areas of technical support and resistance. It's very much in a range on the day because it gapped up quite aggressively, right? Like, guys, this closed out on 230.45. It gapped up the opening print, at least on the bell, was 235 and change. So I think the move's been had for Apple unless we get into that more liquid time of day and power hour and it starts doing something different. So I'm not going to get into Apple on the day. I'm also keeping an eye on the future because we are rejecting the volume weighted average price after bouncing up 20,600. So good luck, but I feel like I'm not really had the best read on some of these Mag 7 names today, and I don't need to every day. So packing my patience, waiting for that A+ setup to come in, and then I could be persuaded to get into something. I do apologize.
Is that an
Go ahead.
intentional pun?
What?
A+ setup so I can be persuaded?
Ooh, I didn't even notice that.
If you
Sarah.
see anything you like.
Oh, you know what? You're gonna turn me into like a person who. What is a person who puns called?
A punster?
A punster? I don't know.
I don't know.
You said no. Where's Patty when you need him, man? Mara is up 12.5%. What the hell? No, he's in the kitchen, Ram, calm down. No, but yeah, Ram was like, he's not here. He's at the beach because he's printing up a storm. No, Patty's in the kitchen. Shout out to him. What are you looking at?
Yeah, so I am proud of this. Also, I did put it this. We still have the jazz band. I literally said this in the chat. I would love to hire the Economic Club of Washington's jazz band because I am loving this music. It is making me want to get to my keyboard post haste. But let's take a look at this SPY because I was really proud of some of the SPY scalps I took. My first SPY scalp, I only took one other SPY scalp, I guess. No, I took two. I'll switch to the 1 minute so you guys can see where I got in and out of this because it's a little bit unclear on the 5 minute. But so I got short here. Like I said, not proud of this entry. Should have entered later, yada, yada, yada. Then I see us bounce here off the book and the 90 MA at that 562.70s. And I say, I would like all the smoke, Sharif, not just some.
I like it.
All. Thank you. I took about 20 pennies here, small size, got out at VWAP. Then I got back in again when I saw higher lows. Now we start bouncing off 80s. I said again, I want all the smoke. If we break below 70s, I'll get out. We didn't, so I stayed in, took another about 10 pennies there with a slightly larger position. And I want to say, too, with the SPY, why I got out where I did is because I was seeing lower highs on the book. That ended up manifesting. We broke lower. Also, Economic Club of Washington, you said Jerome Powell was going to be here at 12:30. He is not. Am I enjoying your music? Absolutely. But would I like to enjoy some J-Pow as well? Yes, I would. It's just a note there. SPY, though, right now, couple topping tail candles, not something I want to use to trade the SPY. And I want to shout out Sharif, who's always said, you don't always necessarily want to use chart patterns on the futures. Sometimes I find they can be helpful to give you senses of trends, but if I'm going to trade the futures, it's always going to be a book scalp. That's what I was doing on the SPY. That's what I'd be looking for here on the TQs as well. But right now, I think I have a bit of a better read on that SPY. Now, we haven't looked at DJT in a while, so let's take a look at Donald John Pump over there. Take a look at D to the J to the T.
Tell the truth. When you that whole thing happened on what was it, Saturday?
Saturday.
Did you think that DJT would be up or down? Did you even think about DJT in that moment?
I didn't think. Remy says she did.
She did. Okay.
I honestly, I found out while I was at like a family gathering outside.
Okay.
Like we were at a garden party.
But you
Someone was
think
like,
about the market all the time.
I always think about the market. That is true. I think I thought it would move. I didn't think of a direction. Then I go on CNBC this morning. DJT up 50%. I said, there you go.
I
will say I started thinking it would maybe move up a little bit, but not to this extent.
I knew it
Once
would.
I saw some conversations on social media last night, like I would say the more, because I am always thinking about the market.
Yeah.
The more time I had to think about it, the more I was like, okay, it's going to have a move, but I don't know what direction.
Yeah.
Beautiful double bottom here, though, at the 39 level on DJT. Then we come to have a little bit of a bounce at 40. We make a bit of an M shape here, and then look where we bounce up again. at the 40s. So 40 and 39 are two levels I like on DJT. Beware, though, we do still have some lower highs, and we are firmly below the VWAP level. So that's the DJT look. But right now, we want to talk about the power of being confirmed and confirmation over here on Kyle Burnett saying if you didn't think about DJT in that moment, you ain't no trader. Honestly, I was very
Chill out, big
I was having
smile.
like a little welcome drink at a garden party, and they're like, "Did you hear what happened?" And I was like, "What happened?" It happened like 20 minutes before I was on the car, so I didn't see it. But
Yeah, fair.
good times.
I don't know if this is accurate or we're getting trolled here, but Crap Stock says a pun maker is called a paranomasaic.
Chronomasia?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Is that true? Adira,
I don't know it. I don't know that term.
that's intense right there.
That is really intense.
All right. Let's start the lesson du jour, and then we'll find out if Crap Stock's pulling our leg or not. Shout out to him. All right, guys. We're talking about Elliott waves. We're continuing the Elliott wave conversation and lessons this week. We're going to get obviously a bit more nuanced. Elliott wave theory is a bit of a lengthy one, so. Pack your patience here. We're going to talk today about confirmatory indicators and how to use confirmation with other technical indicators to help guide and inform your Elliott wave theory analysis. So let's get right to it, baby. It's true, bro, says Crap Stock. All right, Crap Stock, I see you. I have Google. I have Gemini and ChatGPT. I can find out. No, I'm joking. All right, so let's get right to it. Elliott wave theory provides a valuable framework for understanding market movements. However, like any analytical tool, it's essential to use it in conjunction with other indicators for increased accuracy and confidence. Today, we'll explore how combining Elliott waves with other technical indicators can help strengthen your analysis. So why confirmation matters in TA. Most of you will be apprised of this already, but if you're not, let's talk about it. Subjectivity, first and foremost. I can look at a series of charts, see Elliott waves in one area. Adair can look at it, Ram, even the Chilean Nightmare can look at it and say, like, I don't see what you're seeing. And that is the deal with Elliott waves. Elliott wave analysis can be subjective, with different analysts interpreting wave patterns differently. There's also the market complexity that comes into play here. The market is influenced by so many factors, and relying solely on one method might overlook crucial information. That's why we take information and data from all the different indicators which represent different aspects of the market. And there's also risk management. Using multiple indicators can help identify potentially false signals that you're getting from some indicators. So by getting a full picture, you're helping to rely less on one indicator, which may be providing a false positive. And some of the indicators today that we're going to talk about, let's start off with the momentum indicators. You'll recall from previous lessons, the two most favorite momentum indicators that we use on this desk are the relative strength index, RSI for short, and the moving average convergence divergence, MACD for short. Starting first with RSI, divergences between price and RSI can confirm potential trend reversals or extensions. And additionally, you can also use RSI for the overbought, oversold conditions which can align with Elliott waves initiation. So I'll show you exactly what I mean in a second. I know it sounds awfully theoretical. It'll be much more practical in a second. In addition to RSI, like we mentioned, moving average convergence divergence, MACD for short, it's very similar to RSI in how you use it. Divergences here between price action and MACD can be used to glean potential trend reversals or extensions. In addition to that, crossovers where the MACD line crosses above or below the signal line, they can also move with the waves. So when you get the MACD crossover, it sometimes can coincide with the initiation, the formation of those Elliott waves. And here's what I'm talking about when I say RSI divergence. So we're getting higher.
Meeting's beginning. Sorry.
Okay.
Meeting's beginning.
That's more important.
Yeah. Nothing has happened yet, but it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Adara keeping tabs on Papa Powell's meeting. If there is anything of note, Dara obviously will interrupt me and let you guys know. Yeah. So with respect to RSI divergence, Ram, this is kind of the look that we're looking at here. We're looking at higher highs, being made on the price, but
Not so on the RSI. You're getting lower highs on the RSI. So that's what we call RSI price divergence, and it can signal the potential reversal of, or the beginning, the reversals of a trend. Similarly, you can also use RSI to gauge where the wave formations may be initiating. And it's especially so if the wave formations coincide with the RSI coming out of oversold territory or coming out of oversold territory, coming down above overbought territory. So here's what I mean by that. So when you form wave C, you're coming out of that oversold level and into that area of neutrality. And likewise over here, when you get the formation of wave 3, the corrective wave, you are in oversold territory. Likewise, the formation of wave A, you're again in oversold territory, and then you get bought up. So look for RSI price divergence. Also look for RSI coinciding with waves coming out of the oversold and overbought territories. MACD divergence, same thing that we talked about with RSI. In this particular instance, you're getting your lower lows on the price, so trough, and more trough. So that's 3 lower lows. When you look at the actual MACD, though, you're not getting those lower lows. In fact, you're getting higher lows. So that's MACD price divergence. And what that's indicating to you here is the down move may be coming to an end, and we could start trending to the high side. That's what we call price MACD divergence, but not the only way to use MACD with Elliott waves. As you can see here, the initiation of wave 1 coincides with the MACD line crossing above the signal line for a bullish crossover. Conversely, when you have the initiation or the crest upon which wave 2 initiates, you also have MACD crossing below the signal line, a bearish crossover. So look for MACD price action divergence as well as MACD wave crossover coincide. All right? So those are your momentum indicators. But there are also trend indicators that you can use to help guide your Elliott wave analysis. The first one you're going to use here is moving averages, one that I always use on my intraday charts and as well as my long term. So a moving average above the price can possibly confirm an uptrend, while a moving average below the price can confirm a possible downtrend. Aligning moving average crossovers with Elliott wave patterns can help strengthen your analysis, but it's not the only type of trend indicator you can use. The other one we obviously know are trend lines, right? The ones that we draw. Trend lines can help identify support and resistance levels. When they align with Elliott wave counts, it increases the confidence in the analysis. Here's what I mean by the moving averages. Sometimes when you are trading above the moving average, it may give the signal that we could be coming into possibly the end of the trend. Do you have anything important?
Pump, yeah. A little bit of a pop-up pump here. He's saying they initially asked him about the market with regards to the Donald Trump situation. He just said, hope my best for everybody, and he would not comment further. And then they said, we're going to ask you another question you're not going to want to answer. How's the economy doing with rate cuts? And he actually said the economy's been remarkably strong over the last few years. He also, just basically saying we're making some progress, that we didn't see any progress in the first quarter, which we knew.
Yeah.
He's saying we are trying to make some progress now. But what I've noticed as well, days that Papa Powell speaks, is when he is physically talking, the market will move up. When he is not, it moves down. Just be aware of that. If you are involved in any names right now, we had Tesla pumping up here, NVIDIA, TQQ. I just wanted to comment on the Papa Powell pump.
Absolutely, and feel free to interrupt me at any time.
I will
for real,
thank you.
Now, also with respect to other trend indicators, we can use trend lines. And so the way to use trend lines with Elliott waves here is to look for the formation or the initiation of the wave at a key area of technical support or resistance using the trend line. So in this particular case, you have the formation of wave 2, the ending of wave 2. The formation of wave 2 starts at the crest and ends at the trough. You have the ending of wave 2 at an area of key support. Similarly, the ending of wave 4, which is a corrective wave, which starts at the top of wave 3 and then ends at the bottom, again here holds on to that trend line that we drew. So you could use multiple different indicators to gauge trend and help it coincide your analysis with Elliott waves. But volume indicators also equally as important here. Increased volume during impulse waves, which we know are the waves that go with the trend, 1, 3, and 5, those are. So increased volume during the impulse waves and decreased volume during those corrective consolidative waves can confirm Elliott wave patterns. However, volume can be sometimes a bit misleading here, so use it as a supporting indicator. And here's what I mean by that. So the initiation here of wave 1, right? So we have the initiation of wave 1 down here, it completes up here, and this is the initiation of wave 2 and it finishes down here. So we have an up amount of volume on the impulse waves and lower volume on the corrective waves. So you're looking for waves 1, 3, and 5 to have more volume than waves 2 and 4. And so you're looking for the general areas that you gauge the waves in. So if you say wave 1 starts on, say, May 1st, and then goes to, like, say, May 15th, and then wave 2 starts at May 15th and maybe goes to May 21st, you're looking for the volume bars between those particular areas, and you're juxtaposing them to the other corrective waves. So you're looking with the trending waves, the impulse waves with the corrective wave. Okay? Chart patterns, also really important here as confirmatory indicators. For example, your head and shoulders, your double tops, your double bottoms. These patterns can confirm the trend reversals if they align with your Elliott wave counts. Similarly with flags, bull pennants, bear flags and pennants. These continuation patterns can also align with your wave extensions. And here's an example of them, right? So you're getting this gnarly head and shoulders over here after a big down move. So again, recall, the inverse head and shoulders is a bullish reversal pattern. So the pattern that precedes it, or the trend that precedes an inverse head and shoulder, should be a downtrend, right? And so you have to look for that before you start seeing what you want to see on the chart. But you're also looking for the shoulder and the head to be forming at key areas of Elliott waves. So you're looking for you're looking for the confluence there. There we go. The confluence between the chart pattern and the Elliott waves. And similarly on this one, you're getting that big push up here on obviously the Elliott waves, with the wave 3 being the biggest. And then during wave 5, you're getting that bull flag. So that period of consolidation, which we know wave 5 typically has, because it's the conclusive wave in Elliott waves. So usually there is a bit of a consolidative area or a bit of a retracement. In this particular case, it was a downward channel, which we know is the bull flag shape. And then you had a breach of the upper trend line for that continuation. So look for, obviously, these chart patterns to coincide with your Elliott wave counts. So how do you use the confirmation? Like, what's the process here by which you have to go through? So you first of all, you want to be using multiple indicators. You have to figure out which indicators you want to use. That behooves you to get into the sim to figure out what system works best for you, or whatever other way you want to use. So you want to combine several indicators to increase the reliability of your analysis. But you also should be looking for consistency between the indicator that you've chosen and its confluence with Elliott wave theory. If it doesn't seem to have any sort of relationship with Elliott waves, don't use it, or maybe it's not appropriate on the time frame that you're using. So for certain here, you're looking for consistency between the different indicators and the Elliott wave count. You should also be alive to the divergences that can take place between some of the indicators and the price action, the most notable ones of which we talked about are MACD and RSI. You're looking for price action, indicator divergence. If you see it, for example, higher highs and higher lows on the price, but lower highs or possibly lower lows on the MACD or the RSI, you know that possibly here the trend could be coming to an end. I just wanted to stop for a second over here. Oh, the water's working again, Adair. That's good news.
Really?
Yeah,
That's good.
said Brendo. Yeah, awesome.
Nice.
So that's what you're looking. You're looking for divergences between price action and the indicator. And as well, risk management, super important here. Use confirmation to help you determine appropriate entry and exit points, and as well to set up your stop loss. So for example, if you know at this area is the bottom of wave 1, then why would you want to hold something past wave 1 if you're basing it on Elliott waves, right? It has to hold the level of the initiation of wave 1. Otherwise, you know, that's your level right there. So keep your mind about also using Elliot waves as a guide for risk management. And remember, guys, no indicator is perfect by any means. While confirmation absolutely can be valuable, no indicator is 100% accurate, and therefore your analysis cannot be 100% accurate. So make sure to get your mind right with respect to losing. And practice. Consistent practice and backtesting will help you refine your skills in using multiple indicators alongside Elliott wave theory. So keep that in mind. By incorporating other technical indicators, you can enhance your Elliott wave analysis and make certainly more informed trading decisions. Remember, the goal is to increase your confidence in the wave count and reduce the risk of false signals, Adair.
Yeah, this guy's actually pretty funny. The guy asking these Jerome Powell questions here, I'm laughing. He said, most of the government's very good at leaking things. You're not very good at leaking things. And I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. He did not say the word unanimity properly at all. He kind of combined it with anonymity, so that was kind of weird. But this guy's name is David Rubenstein.
Yeah, of course, he's huge.
And yeah, he's huge. Yeah. He's pretty entertaining.
Ruby.
There's D. Rubes.
Big boy Rube.
There he is with his big old red tie, Jerome Powell in his purple tie matching the economic club decor there. But right now, basically, he's not asking, and I know he started with the hardball questions like, where are we going to get cuts? How do you feel about what happened this weekend and how it impacts the market? But now he's like, so how do you guys make decisions? What's the process like? It's actually pretty enlightening. Jerome Powell said where they have dinner. Apparently it's in the Martin building. But yeah, so not a lot. Nimit earlier was asking, will it be a nothing burger? Right now, there's not too much happening. I did, though, I mentioned one thing I like doing that I've noticed is sometimes effective while Jerome Powell is talking is scalping longs while he talks and then getting out when he stops talking. That actually did work out for me a little bit here, going into that 82 level. Yeah, it took like 10 pennies to size. So please just punch with that. It has not worked since then, though. We are rejecting off 82. I'm in JPM as a short. I don't think we're going to be banking on this JPM short, let me tell you, because I have no reason to leave because we keep protecting this area. This is the area I'm watching. We had a topping tail candle into that, what is this, just shy of 210.20s. We also had a nice little area of support there at 210.20s earlier, so support resistance flip. We are seeing lower highs on the book, so I have no reason to leave, but I don't like being in trades for this long. I prefer to scalp, and so my trigger fingers are getting a little bit itchy, trying to quell my anger or my need to get out of this trade, because this JPM better break down pretty soon, or we'll panic sell, and I would like to be better than that. If we keep bouncing off 210, I'll get out 210. That's fine with me. How are you doing?
The Katina man is very displeased at the moment because Mara is flying to the high side. He called that one on the sticky note. Shout out to Sticky Note Nation. $24.10 now, the high of the day on Mara. And now we have the Mara one. Big Patty Ice has returned to his desk. We will be getting more commentary, hopefully, very shortly. And I was like, Patty, are you looking at what's going on with Mara? He's like, he's flying again. There he is. Big Patty Ice, baby. Show him that chart, Big Patty. There, he has no idea what's going on. Shout out to Patty Ice, love him. 24.10, we're at 23.99 right now. Let's see if we can get, a decent retracement here. But Mara absolutely flying to the high side. And the reason I even looked at Mara is not one that I usually look at. I had HUD 8 up on the set side chart, and I'm looking at what the hell is HUD 8 doing? It's up 19%, breached $20, $20.25 now. HOD on HUT. Fantastic look for crypto. Crypto is back up at 63,508. It's up 6%, almost 5.93% on the day. Ethereum not far behind, 6 1/3 now up on ETH at 30, almost 3,400 there. MicroStrategies, don't forget, guys, this one's going to split soon, right? 15 1/3 up above $1,600. You got Coinbase up $27.50 today. It's 12 2/3 right now. So crypto is absolutely flying. There is no red name on my crypto watch list over here. As you get to see that, nothing red on there. Everything in positiveville in crypto world. So we'll keep eyes on that. I didn't really, I don't have any trades set up on this. I really need to get going here with this trading because we haven't traded all that much today. I'm also keeping an eye on Donald John Trump as it's weaseling its way back into the 50 exponential on the 5 here, 41 1/3. It hasn't been at the 50 exponential essentially since the Huadunk that came in right at 9:30, touching it for the first time today. Alas, it is still in that lower high kind of situation where that initial crest after the IB dump at 1010, that came into 42, say in a third, okay? Then we crested out again over here at 11. We got into about 42.10. And now we're at 41.5. We still haven't breached that higher low, but we are at the 2050 exponential on the 5. There is also the white line, obviously, which is the volume weighted average price, which at 42 1/3. So I'm going to keep my eye here on DJT, see if it starts squeezing, because if it does, we know what this name can absolutely do. So keep tabs on that, Adair.
Yeah, I mean, I want to echo what Sharif said about, you want to be able to be taking trades when you're on here. Sometimes you just don't see stuff. I tried to take a Tesla short. We were below the 260. And I think also part of it was I did want to be a part of stuff. That was not a good idea. It is hard to kind of deal with that. You don't want to feel pressured into trade anything either from your own. Amazon fell.
I don't know what's going on. There's something afoot.
That thing delivered to the downside there.
$2.
It's express delivered to the downside for AMZ, and I'll pull that up. But yeah, basically, I'm not trying to put too much pressure on myself to take trades. Happy I hit my P&L so I can just focus on the trades right now. So we're gonna have to see if that is effective. It's always I know I've taken some L's since we were earlier. So that is always a little bit unfortunate. But you want to focus on what works here. Wow, these 9 EMA. Amazon rejections.
That's 6.
Have been delivering. It has been 6. It's been a lot lately, Sharif. The market's been giving you a lot to push back over.
Hey.
But DJT coming into VWAP, which is actually kind of interesting for me. I know you mentioned the possible Donald John pump there, but I'm a little short biased. I like that we're below the 9. Pardon?
That's a really good one.
Thank you. Yeah. I like that we're below VWAP, but we're also bouncing off the 9 EMA, and I do not have the confidence that anyone will be shorting Donald John Trump, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think in some ways it's a self-preservation instinct. I've shorted GME before, but that's always been A, scalps, and B, levels I really like. I don't have confidence in either for DJT, though that 2% spread, not bad. Also, I did get out of JPM. JPM is weirdly ranging from like 210 to 210.20. This is not what I should have been involved in the first place, and that was one thing I really realized with my Tesla snafu on Fridays. It's like, Adara, if the trade is not your type of trade, you don't need to be all up in it. That's fine. That's very valid. That being said, I'd be interested in playing this kind of as a range. I still think that 210 can break down, but the 210 breakdown is not going to be the type of trade I like to do. It's not going to be my scalping. A little bit Tesla pointed at myself for taking that last Tesla trade because I knew that was not really going to be my bag. Trying not to feel too pressured into taking trades. Just going to focus on taking trades that make sense to me. If we get a 261 bounce on Tesla, which is going to be around thereabouts where VWAP was, that'd be great. But Tesla's like, yeah, Derek, you're not going to get that because I'm going to push higher. And I'm like, okay, I understand Tesla. But yeah, definitely just trying to find some more opportunities. SPY continuing to reject off the 9 EMA. Also, it's interesting too, a lot of the questions that David Rubenstein and Ruby is have been asking have been a lot of retrospectives, like how would you guys have done this differently, that type of thing. So it's been a pretty interesting Q&A. This SPY, the lower highs on the SPY are interesting. Look, speaking of which, there's a great super chat here from Kyle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Breaking, Trump VP announced. In a shocker, he has tapped big SPY debt. Dump it. Shout out to you, Kyle, and I honestly think I might join. I know you're a big SPY, but I might be a little SPY over. No, I'm joking. I do want to take this SPY short, though, if we stay below 70s. And I mean, hey, SPY, you want to stay below 70s. I don't love this big green candle, but we don't have a ton of volume in said big green candle. So you know what? We're going to get involved here. We're going to start. Oh, we got above 70s. I'm going to have to wait. But as long as I see stuff I like here on the SPY, I am willing to short these pops. I don't like that we decisively pushed above 70s, though. Again, sorry, guys, I'm not involved in anything, but I don't want to rush any positions right now.
Yeah, I just tried to short Microsoft, and I lost 40 pennies quickly like that. It was coming in to the closing print from yesterday, Friday, sorry, at 453.5. I got short 453.10s. And it's just blowing through there. So I'm going to have to rethink here. I thought we were doing a retracement into the VWAP on the NQ June contract, and we were coming September contract, and we were coming into break even on Softy. I said this is an interesting area to go short. I was wrong, so I'm going to have to rethink this. I got to tell you, I don't have a good read on the market. I'm not really down by a whole lot because I'm not trading a whole lot, but I do not have a good read on the market today. Some days I feel confident in my assessments. Today I feel like I just do not have a good read. There's just too many zigzags and breaches of key levels. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to trade for the sake of trading and get cut up. But if I find something that I like, I absolutely will take it. And I'm looking right now at Apple. 236 coming in on Apple. We know that this 236 and a quarter was a level in the sand. So if we get back into 236 and we put in a lower high and reject off that key level, I will absolutely get into the short on Apple. The only thing really holding me back is this umpteen amount of higher lows that we have. We also have lower highs as well. So a bit of a compression pattern. So what was the trend that preceded the compression? Well, it was an uptrend. So this typically means you resolve to the high side. Doesn't always mean that, but it could definitely put the odds in your favor. Right now, we're getting a little zig, a little zag. Apple didn't even make it up into 236 for me to test it. So, yeah, I got to tell you, do not have a good read on the market, but that's all right. You don't have to have a read every day. So keeping an eye out here, seeing what else moving. Let's go to some small cap gappers. Oh, AEON starting to put in a rounded bottom over here on its way possibly into VWAP at 293, 295, $3. This is the kind of level or the kind of shape that I like to see on these small cap gappers. Let's go ahead and pull that bad boy up and see what we can weasel in on AEON. That's not on the NASDAQ, I'm assuming. Okay, probably on the Amex. Wrong again. Probably on the New York. Oops, AEON. Let's try New York again. Here we go. Okay, what the hell does this stock trade on? AEON?
I love when the small caps make you work to find where they trade.
Yeah, it's on the Amex. Why is it not loading? Are you guys able to load AEON, Neil, on the Amex? Are you able to pull up that bad boy? Yeah, I'm sure it's on the Amex, yeah. No, I don't have it. It can't load it up on here for whatever reason. Probably blocked in our system. OTC? Okay. I have my other platform is it's on the Amex, isn't it? Right? Okay, well, we'll have to get off this because I'm not going to keep wasting time on AEON. All right, let's see what else is popping off over here. I was looking at INDO as well as bringing the side charts over here. Coin catching a bit of a topping tail as well, but that's not really much of a small cap gapper. It's really AMIX that's holding up.
Jerome Powell declined. They're laughing, but they said, if another president came to you and said, do you want to be reappointed, what would you do? And he said, I have nothing for you on that today. We got a little bit of a drop on that. So
oh, yeah?
I was going to say, what would we call the next J Powell? I guess we'll have to find out who they are. But sorry, back to you.
Yeah, why would he even ask him about that? It's not even within his hands.
Right?
Like it's going to be the next president. That's interesting. Yeah, but Apple did take a bit of a dump on that, Adara, and so we got a big move down on a lot of names, and wow, what a move down on the market over here. So let's get this screen out of the way and have a look, as yeah, we breached the low, that local low on the future. We did breach 20,600. We're below it right now, and there it comes down again. So Papa doing the absolute most in not a really good way today. So shout out to the reversion man, as Obi likes to call him, because he sent this bad boy sucker down, and now we're only up 0.4% on the future.
Yeah. Also, Amazon, I have to say, am I proud of this trade? No, but I had to get out because I didn't like what I saw in the book. So I'd rather have no regrets, shout out Obi as well, than regret what I saw in the trade. I got short Amazon because we had the 90-EMA rejection I wanted, but I was really hesitant because we were initially holding 190-160s as support on the book, which I did not like. Sam, I am. I did not like green eggs and ham, or green Amazon and ham. I said no. We flipped to resistance. I got short 59s. Then we flipped back to support. I said, then we flipped back to resistance. I took a couple pennies. I was like, cool, I don't want to be here anymore. The second I get out, J-Pow says, yeah, I don't know what we'll do next. The thing drops 50 pennies. But you know what? I can't be too upset. I did what I could, and I had to trust myself on that. So I still took some profit. Obviously could have taken more, but you never know what you're going to get, and that's what's so fun about the markets. This 260.70 was a bit of an area of resistance on a wick basis earlier, as you could see a couple times. So if we come to flip to support here, that could be really interesting to me. But I have a feeling the level is more likely to be 50s than 70s. And when I say level, I mean on the book, though you could see it on the chart as well. Some of these wicks that we've had here into 70s, 70s, 70s that did eventually get rejected because they were topping tail candles. So I want to see what we do here on this TSLA. Also, J-Pow was asked how he stays in shape, and he's like, I bike, I run, I go on walks. Also, the amount of times that J-Pow has mentioned food today, I think he's hungry. I think he's hungry, Sharif, because he's like, oh, sometimes I get breakfast with the Treasury Secretary, sometimes I get lunch with that person. He talked about where they get food when they're at the Fed meetings. Can someone feed Jerome, guys? Jerome seems hungry. He has mentioned food unprompted 3 times now. So I think that's kind of interesting. Tesla falling. I'm just calling like I see it, Sharif. We are falling below the 260. I really should have taken. Happy I didn't go long Tesla. I'll put it that way. But yeah, wish I was involved in some trades right now. But I do want to make sure that I'm still sticking to my scalp as I do scalp. One thing I want to watch though for is JPM. JPM not a stock I'm like usually in love with, but JPM has been a little bit rangy here, right? We do have these lower highs, lower lows. I clearly missed the clear short opportunity, which was that 210.40s. Instead, I tried to take 210s. But if we do kind of form a range like we had earlier, that 210s into 210.20, then eventually 210.40, I'm okay with that, but this is not my favorite style of trade. I would prefer to scalp. Also, we have a super chat from Michelle Hebert, member for 25 months. It's a member chat. Hey guys, hey Michelle Hebert. Interesting week for GME with over 60,000 call contracts near the money, $30 for Friday. Bullish recent accumulation, higher lows. Boom, question mark? Yeah, I mean, right now we had that whole market fall, so GME did fall, but we'll have to see if GME can bounce here off that 2660 area we were talking about a little earlier. We had that topping tail candle, then we come here, bounce and push higher. So 2660, I think that'd be a nice bounce for it on the intraday. But you're talking about calls, so we're gonna make the call to look at a daily chart here, to look at some wider. Shout out on that Amazon short, by the way. I hope you print. But yeah, GME is definitely having a bit of a time trying to curl up above this 27. I think if we can get above that accumulation we had a little bit here at that 29 area and then push into these 31s, I think that would be a nice look. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, Michelle Hebert. We have seen, though, decreasing volume, worth noting on the daily chart, decreasing volume, but a bit of an uptrend. I think if we can get some more volume and a push into 29s and 31s, I think that would be a nice look. That's my honest take on that chart. PLTR is a nice little range, says Trader Nick. Shout out to Garov as well, mentioning PLTR in an uptrend. PLTR is not one I normally trade because I find it a bit difficult for scalpy purposes, but let's see. Oh, this is the daily chart. I was getting too excited I sound like a wounded dog. I was like, oh. Okay, not a bad range here. I agree, Trader Nick. The one thing I don't like is I find this a bit bamboozling because we do have lower highs and slightly higher lows. This is the type of range that I feel I would fumble. I do not have I'm making American football references, I guess. I don't think I have the grip to hold this football and go long or go long. Because like football going long.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't want to go short because we do have these higher lows. So I appreciate you mentioning this one, Trader Nick. I think if we fall off the 29, that would be a bit more interesting to me. But I think as a scalper, sometimes PLTR does not have enough motion in the ocean or enough rustle there. Speaking of rustle, I want to look at the IWM. But also it is past 1, so soon we're going to have to do our final lesson of the day. Russell in your view up. Oh. Could this be a short? I don't know. But Russell, I got to kick somebody off my side chart here because Russell needs to have its rightful place taken. How are you doing over there?
Good. I'm just looking at different things moving. I don't have any trades at the moment. Looking at Microsoft putting in higher lows with that 453 top right here as the top right there, just generally around that area. Look. I'm not going to force trades today if I don't have to. I don't like anything at the moment. So if you guys want anything looked at, tag me in the chat. I'd absolutely look at it for you. But I don't feel like trading when I don't have the right read on the market. I'm just not going to get cut up for the sake of getting cut up. So tag me, and I will absolutely love to look at things for you at the moment. Let's see what else is moving in the scanner world over here. Okay, we still have AMIX and AEON as the number 2 names on the day. Over here, you got one in 145%, one has 105% on their great look. DATS in distant third, up 56 some odd percent, but definitely down since the bell, about 16.84%. So the small caps, they're giving you opportunities, but yeah, still keeping an eye on that. Fonz wants to know about goggles. Let's have a look at GOOGL. Definitely, bit of a
better day for it today than was the last couple of days. Big down move on Thursday, consolidative day on Friday. Today, finally, we get a nice move up at 188.25. It is making lower highs and lower lows, pawns. In fact, when it broke down below VWAP, it's still using VWAP as that level of resistance and has been since 1205. So perhaps maybe a range trade off the VWAP and into that maybe 186.50. At the lows, it looks like it gets into that $0.25, but most of the prints really at that $0.50 pawns. So I don't know, about 50 cents worth of range at least for the latter part of an hour, right? So this candle printed at 1205, and we've kind of been dancing with VWAP and that $0.50 for the past hour. So let me know how that does for you there. Pawn Scott H says, watch Riot. 11:30 break, room to run. If so, I've got Mara up here, and Mara is just absolutely flying to the high side. $24.24 a high a day on MARA. I'm bringing in the chart real quick over here. Yeah, no, forget that. That's wrong. $24.27 now, the high a day on Mara. It absolutely held the 10 exponential on the 5 there. I can't believe how strong this name is today. Beautiful look. I mean, there's only been one time here on the day that we got a 20 exponential retracement, and that happened at about 1:45 noon. And you got a bottoming tail candle followed by one hell of a bullish green candle that made a new high, and we really haven't looked back since that time. $24.28 now, the high on MARA. A cool, a gnarly 16.85%. I feel like we're on our way possibly into 20%. There does not seem to be a sell on this name here. You're going to have to go back a ways to find Mara at 25 bucks. Let's go and find it on the 4 hour. Yeah, man, you got to go back ways. And this is where we were last. March, middle to end of March was the last time we were at said levels on MARA, and I put in this horizontal trend line over here at 24.56 to mark that exact area crest. So if we get into 24.50, and trust me, we're only 20 pennies away now with 24.29, 24.30 now, the high a day. I'm going to be looking at that 24.5, 24.56 technically it looks like on there as a level of resistance. Obviously, the above that we're looking at every $5 or so. But Mara having itself a hell of a day. Scott wanted to see Riot. Let's see what's up with Riot. No, Big Kyle, I'm not looking at Grinder. It's not going to happen. Nice try. Yeah, look, interesting look here. Scott, though, at 11 1/3, you have umpteen amount of topping tail candles here at the 4 hour at this level. Completely separate, a completely different chart than Mara. Riot's been at these levels a lot since that March pump on crypto. So interesting. I think we definitely encounter possibly here, definitely possibly, some resistance, like right, Adara, at this 11 1/3. In fact, right now the high a day on Riot is 11 1/3. So the range for the resistance is essentially between 11 1/4 to 11 1/2. So we're right in the middle of that right now, being at the third. Well, not right in the middle, a little bit lower. But yeah, you guys get the idea. So let's see if Riot is able to break that. I think that's Scott. What was Scott H saying? Yeah, he said 11:30 break. Exactly, absolutely, Scott. But I would say I'd give it a bit more. I'd say 11 1/4 to 11 1/2 based upon where these wicks always end up. So shout out to you. Good call on your part. Kyle says up 1 1/4%. Well, Riot's up 15 and change, Kyle. So yeah. That's the way it is there. It has a daily upward trend, bull flag, and a potential breakout, says Big Spile Burdette. Randall Leger, Lucid, 420 long. Okay. Can you please look? Thanks. Absolutely. So Lucid had one hell of a week last week, guys. After it got more money, or not, it got more money, but it was, I guess, guaranteed more money by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, yeah, PIF. So, yeah, we saw that big boy move into that 440, 430, 420-ish double top. It's so high a day today of 420. Where do we find support, though? Well, it's a bit of a tougher question because we had such a big parabolic move up. If I really had to guess, and all really, we're doing here is making educated guesses based on indicators and price action, it's about this crest over here that we put in the middle of May. We got into that 340, 350. I think if we move down into 350, it'll also be the $0.50 as well as price action support over here.
So let me know how it goes, Renda Leger, if you end up printing on LCID, but it's been a great move up. We'll see if it's sustained, though, obviously, because remember, we talked about this last week, being a both blessing and a curse, having that unlimited amount of money, or not unlimited, but, a lot of money, because then you're not really forced into efficiency as quickly as some others. So we'll keep tabs on that, Adair.
Yeah, Jerome Powell punt. But before I get into that, I do want to echo what Sharif said. I feel like I have kind of a rough read on things. I'm trying to take things that I think I like because I want to get involved, but I know I'm just getting cut up because I did have a good start to the day. I don't think I'm trusting myself as much now, unfortunately. So yeah, Amazon, I wanted to go long that 191.15, that base. We broke towards 191s. I had to get out. Looks like it's working out now, though, so that's always a little bit unfortunate when that happens. Same with this NVIDIA short. I did not like my level of entry on this, but I still think this could be a potential short here. So it's just always unfortunate, if you will, when things start okay and then you kind of start doubting yourself, you stop having as good of a read on things. But if there's any takers you have a read on, or if you want us to look at, when I say us, I do mean Sean and Neil there at the big desk, and straight from the green screen, go in the chat right now, ! join, space, $, NVDA, AAPL, AMZN, whatever tickers you're fancy, get involved in there, guys, and definitely let us know. Now, the pun that Jerome Powell made was, they were talking like, oh, what do you guys do at Jackson Hole? Like, do you wear cowboy boots? And he's like, well, some of us wear cowboy boots, but we have hikes, we physically take hikes, not rate hikes, actual hikes. And I was like, yes, Jerome, pun to your heart's content, Jerome. So J. Powell pun time over here at the Economic Club of Washington, D.C. What else? We're gonna get into the lesson, but I just want to take a look at some other things right now. Oh, NVIDIA 128 breakdown. Looks like we might try to bounce here. I think this breakdown might take some more time. But yeah, happy with the idea of this, but I wish I'd gotten out a little bit earlier when I realized sooner that I wasn't going to get the breakdown I wanted when I wanted it. SPY continuing to chop and turn here around just below 562, sorry. So 561.90s continue to have a bit of chop and turn, kind of similar to what I was seeing on Amazon at the time, where we are having a bit of a base and we're trying to make higher lows from there. So let's see what the SPY does at 562. That could be a bit of an interesting level. Tesla continuing to chop and turn, making slightly lower highs here at around that 562 level, but 262 level, 261 level, sorry, but continuing to hold up this 260.70 pretty well. So this is not one I have a read on right now, but I think there is something in the water here. I guess I'm not enough of a shark to smell what direction that might go. So let's see. Yeah, NVIDIA needs to catch a bounce, a bit of dog for a few days in a row now, says Derek B. Yeah, NVIDIA, we're kind of seeing higher lows right now, but that's come after a succession of lower highs. So we'll have to see. I think NVIDIA trying to hold 128 could be interesting. Let's take a look at the daily chart in NVDA. To be fair, if there's any stock that I think is allowed to have a couple days off, I think it would be the monster NVDA. We did have, Jensen Huang and his crew have been doing great so far in 2024. That's been a wild stock there. So, this daily chart, I would say, I have IWM. That's a good daily chart. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. I was confused. I'm like, NVIDIA gap it up that much, really? But let's take a look at NVDA, because that's the chart we're supposed to look at here. On that daily chart, yeah, so this daily chart here in NVDA, if it will zoom for me. Yeah, it's not split adjusted, but I'll switch to where we are post-split to kind of get a sense here. Yeah, we do have lower highs here in the chart, but higher lows as well. I think getting back above and holding that 135 on the daily chart would be a great level, but even closing nicely above 130 would be a pretty good look as well. Also, the pun that Jerome Powell made there, Sharif, was I did say earlier as well. Jerome Powell said they were asking about Jackson Hole, and he was like, yeah, some people, do you wear cowboy boots? He's like, some people wear cowboy boots, but we do, instead of talking about rate hikes, we actually do some hiking as well. He delivered it a bit better than I did, because it's been a couple minutes there, but I really enjoyed that.
I like that, the hike and the hike. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, is there anything else you're looking at before we do the lesson of the day?
Well, let's pull up here and look at the Mag 7 and maybe do a quick rudimentary analysis over here of what's going on. Clearly feels like it's a downtrend coming in on these markets. I'd say the weakest of the bunch, not just by percentage down on the day, but certainly this hockey stick pattern is AMZN. I tried to short it. I had the wrong levels. Ex post facto, looking at it, I should have waited, obviously, to the 10 exponential to come in, but there was just so much weakness. I wanted to ride down the weakness, and that was a mistake, rather than waiting for the 10 exponential to come in and looking for the rejection, because you can see
Amazon has not printed anything above the 10 exponential moving averages on the 5-minute chart since 11:30. So we're going on 2 hours now of all down prints with nothing above the 10 EMA on AMZN. And I feel like 190 is going to be in today for whatever reason right now. 190.75, 190.80-ish is acting as that level in the sand. But, you know, most realistically, even though the wicks come south of 191, it's really that 191 that is holding up right now as a level of resistance because the closing prints are all right around there. So AMZN, the weakest of the bunch on the day. Meta's been a little bit above VWAP, a little bit below. Again, see, this is why I feel like I don't have a read because all of a sudden you think, oh, hey, a range trade's taking place between pivots and VWAP. No. The bottom just drops off there all of a sudden, and all of a sudden you're looking at a different range with the closing print rather than VWAP, which is at 499 rather than 550. So the market's interesting today, no doubt about it, just not one that I can trade successfully. So keeping you know, the hands off the keyboard and trying not to get shut down here or there. I'm not even close, but I just don't want to get shut down.
Yeah, Jerome Powell was talking about how we can't go to dinner anymore because the people at the next table will listen, and if someone were to be, quote, well served who he's speaking to, that person might get a little bit loud. And he gets recognized in public now, so he actually cannot
Does he
eat in public
actually?
unless he's in a private room.
I like him.
Yeah.
What a good dude.
Again, the amount they've talked about food today, can someone please give Jerome Powell a private room meal? The man seems hungry. That's all I have to say on that. But it's not all I have to say on Elliott wave theory, because we're going to talk about that.
That was good.
One last, well, not one last. We have 30 more minutes to vote,
Yes,
guys. Exclamation
vote.
point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you're interested in. Maybe you want it to be MSGR, maybe GME, maybe MARA, maybe TSLA, maybe NVIDIA, maybe Apple, maybe SPY, maybe AVGO, maybe Baidu, whatever ticker you want. Go in. I'm looking at my side.
Exactly. I knew
Go
that
in
you were
there.
doing that,
Yeah, I don't even know why Baidu's still there, but get involved there and get involved with whatever ticker you want to look at. But let's talk about the power of confirmation with regards to analyzing Elliott waves. So Elliott wave theory is a valuable framework for understanding market movements, but like any analytical tool, it's best to use it carefully and in conjunction with other indicators to have a better sense of accuracy and confidence. So we're going to talk about how combining Elliott wave with other tech indicators can strengthen your analysis. So why does confirmation matter? Subjectivity. Also, I think Jerome Powell might have finished, so I'm going to check on him. Yeah, he's done now. The camera guy's
done.
leaving. So that was really entertaining. It was kind of more of a subdued, little chill, lax conversation. Also, you can tell he stepped off the mic because everything popped back up here. But basically, subjectivity is huge because Elliott wave analysis can be subjective, and different analysis or different analysts can interpret wave patterns differently. Let's also talk about market complexity because the market is influenced by various factors, and relying solely on one method can overlook crucial information. So if you see the balance of evidence, everything coming together, then you have a better sense of conviction and you can have a better verdict on your trade.
Uh-oh.
I did drop the lot order button on that. And let's talk as well about risk management because you want to use, I've only used it like twice today. I'm pretty proud of myself. Risk management is also key, right? So if you use multiple indicators, it can help you have a better sense of your risk entering into the trade and better sense of what you have to work with, what different areas to keep an eye on, and can give you basically a better sense of identifying false signals and protecting your trading capital. So let's talk about the momentum indicators as well. So we have RSI, the relative strength index. This is going to be what happens when you have divergences between the price and RSI, which can confirm potential trend reversals or extensions, and overbought or oversold conditions can align with Elliott wave count, so it can give you a sense of the motion in the ocean, pun very intended there. Let's also talk about MACD, because moving average convergence divergence is MACD, right? Not McDonald's, guys, don't get it twisted. Similar to RSI, I got failed there.
Chill, Ram.
Similar to RSI, divergences between price and MACD can provide confirmation, and crossovers of the signal and the MACD lines can align with wave count. Oh, the fail is because I said it wasn't McDonald's. And so that was trauma for Ramin to use the word she just used. Also, thank you for letting us have Trenda back. I know it was Randy. I've been always good to her. Can you apologize to Trenda, please?
No.
Trenda, I'm really sorry that he hurt you. No. But also, I'm not sorry that we have all these great momentum indicators. Let's take a look at RSI divergence here, right? So you've got bearish divergence as you have some of these, it's coming in tandem with some of these waves, right? So we have wave 3 and then wave 5. Those are going to be 2 of our impulse waves. And as we get the bearish divergence with these waves, then we start to see move to the downside. So that's what's doing as well. We also have FIB. I'm trying to just do a lesson here, guys. I love that you push the restraining order towards you too. We also have that in confluence with these FIB retracements, so I think that's worthy as well. Look, what about RSI oversold? So we have this kind of divergence here, positive and negative divergence, as we get some of these waves. So with our positive divergence, then we've got our negative divergence coming in. As we get the last tail of the wave, we push lower. So that's certainly interesting here with regards to these markets. Now, what about MACD divergence? Let's take a look. Well, you've got your third wave here. We push a little bit higher. Then you've got this other part of this trend here coming up. Then we have our last wave, and then we get double bullish divergence because we have these higher lows here on the MACD in confluence with the waves, ending this downward channel and pushing higher. So I think that's kind of an interesting look as well. Yep. Now, what about the MACD crossovers? So you basically have here certain crossovers happening as we get these waves. So we've got the signal line and the MACD crossing over at various levels. We kind of get a crossover as we get to each individual wave here. And then as we make these lower lows with the wave, we also make them here with the MACD line as we have our crossover. So interesting look there. Now, what about trend indicators? So a moving average above the price can confirm an uptrend, while a moving average below the price can confirm a downtrend. Also, Dave Clark, I am laughing at your comment there. That's not a bad point there. When it dares the voice of reason, the show is off the rails, winky face. Not at that point. No, I saw that and I laughed out loud.
That was quite good.
I really had to.
Raymond's just very defensive of Trenda. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I got a kick out of that. So shout out to you, Dave Clark. That was pretty funny. But yeah, so another trend indicator to keep an eye on is trend lines. So as Sharif said, they have the word trend in them, so you know they're going to be trend relevant. Trend lines can help you identify support and resistance levels, and when they align with the Elliott wave counts, it can increase confidence in the analysis. So you've got your moving average here, and you have the moving average here above the price with an uptrend, and you have they're aligned with the patterns as well, right? You've got your waves. We dip a little bit below here in wave 2, then we push higher in wave 3, dip below. So every time we have the impulse waves, we're above the moving average. So that helps influence the bullish trend. Great look there. Now, look at these trend lines as well. You have them here on these trend lines. The bounces here aligning with the Elliott wave counts, right? So same thing, we push a little bit higher, we come bounce here in our corrective wave, another higher push impulse, bounce on corrective, then we push higher. Then when we break below, that's when we're in the pullback. So I think that's a really cool look here. Now let's talk about volume indicators. So volume, increased volume, to increase my own volume there. During impulse waves and decreased volume, during corrective waves can confirm Elliott wave patterns. So as you're seeing, we see a trend when we have whatever indicator you're looking at. If we're bullish, you want to see what we're looking at above or higher when you're in the impulse, and below or lower when you're in the corrective. So if we have increased volume in the push higher and then decreased volume in the push lower in the corrective wave, that's a sign that the trend can continue. But volume can be misleading at times, so use it as a support indicator. It can give you kind of a sense of some of the motion in the ocean, but it's not. Nothing is great on its own, right? You want a team of indicators working together to help push your thesis. Now here we have an example of volume. As we get these volume pushes here, we do have some increase here in these waves. So I think that's a nice look here. As we get wave 3, we get a little bit, or wave 3 ending, we get a little bit of a pullback in volume. So I think that's a really cool look. Now what about chart patterns? So we have head and shoulders at one example, or double tops and double bottoms. These patterns can confirm trend reversals aligned with Elliott wave counts. So not on their own. Well, on their own, they confirm one thing, right? But if you see them with Elliott waves, that's extra confluence or extra confirmation for that trend. Now, what about flags and pennants? So these are continuation patterns, which can also align with wave extensions. So we have reversals here for the head and shoulders, the top and bottoms, and then flag and pennants are going to be those continuation patterns. Here's an example of head and shoulders aligning with Elliott waves. So we have these waves here to the downside. Then we get at the bottom of wave C, we do get here our head and shoulders, a little bit of a bullish head and shoulders, I guess. Then we continue to push higher in tandem with our waves. So interesting look there for head and shoulders. Bull flag here too. Now look at this. This is actually gorgeous. Look at how this is with the waves. We have our waves, and the waves are waving with our bull flag. Now we know for bull flag, we generally want to push higher. The waves also confirm that. So you don't know what you're going to get. But if you see this, you might be tempted to go long because you have a few factors of confluence together. But how do you use confirmation? because people can use it different ways. They can use it as a reason to enter a trade, exit a trade, stay in the trade. How do you do that? What you want to see is multiple indicators. So combine several different indicators to increase the reliability of your analysis. You also want to look for consistency between the different indicators in the Elliott wave count. So let's say you've got Elliott waves. Let's say you've got increased volume in a corrective wave. That's a little funky. You might not want that. That might give you a pushback in not a fun way. So just keep an eye on that. I think that's really key. Also, congrats on your Amazon trade, which I know you're going to talk about later.
I just took 50 pennies.
But I saw that. And I was like,
Yeah.
So I don't know why I made that face. My face please is
Just did not trade well today, but whatever.
I feel that. Let's talk as well about divergences. You want to be aware of the divergences between the indicators and the price, as they can signal potential trend reversals or corrections. And also, risk management is always important. I really want to shout out, Sharif has mentioned this quite a few times, so you can use Elliott Wave for risk management, but within reason. You might want to use confirmation to help you determine appropriate entry and exit points and for stop loss levels, but no indicator is perfect. No two snowflakes are alike. No two indicators are going to give you the same thing when you use them every time. Confirmation can be valuable, but no indicator is going to be that secret sauce, unfortunately. You don't want to get lost in the sauce. So be careful. You also want to, yeah, right, shout out. So many like little sayings. Also, practice does make perfect. Consistent practice and back testing can help you refine your skills in using multiple indicators alongside Elliott wave theory, so you can forward test, aka trade, more appropriately. But I think, I'm going to go right on my Wazos over to someone who just had a pretty good trade there.
Oh, yeah. Well, if that makes one on the day, Adara, so we'll take it. This was a 20 exponential retracement on the 5 on AMZN. It breached the 10 for the first time today. I'm like, all right, if it's going to get gangster like that and breach the 10, then, it can't breach the 20. That would just be utter disrespect. And I guess I was right on this occasion, at least once on the day, maybe, like a broken clock. At least I'm right once or twice. They did come into the 20 exponential on the 5 right at that 192.15. I took it short at 192.05, and I shorted all the way down in 250. So I was happy with this trade. It was one that's like based on my system about using these moving averages on strength that are trending, whether to the high side or the downside. So I was happy with this trade. Now we have to do some more. So we got to get out of Negatoryville. Now here's what I see. I see $0.50 support on the dead one Apple. 234.5 generally is an area of support. It has been for the majority of the afternoon, so it behooves us to look at Apple. I got to mention, though, that Mara's retracing here, and the level that I told you guys on Mara was 24.5 to 24.75, and here it is. It just touched 72s, and now it's down to 30s. This goes all the way back to March. This is a March resistance level that we are on MARA. Shout out to Scott H, who's trading right above 11 1/3, but just keep in mind that we do have a 4-hour resistance level on MARA generally at that 24.5 to 24.75, 3/4. You guys get it. It's a zone. It's not an exact price level, especially when it was like almost 6 months ago. All right, let's load up AAPL over here, because I do like this $0.50 range. And right as I get onto the name, it's at the $0.50. So we're going to take it here. Let's see if we get filled. We get filled at a crappy price. Unsurprised there at 60s. So now we're going to have to do this again. So 2, 3, 4, we're going to get out on the break of 40 pennies. That is, so we'll say sorry, not the break of 40 pennies, of 45. So we'll say like that, and then we'll look to get out at there. So let's see if we can hold generally this $0.50 area here on AAPL. The idea is to basically play a range, but as I say that, now it breaches the range. So again, when you just don't have a read, you don't have a read, and I don't have a read today. So Apple taps me out there, so we lose 10 pennies super quick on AAPL as it comes down below that 234.5. I don't mind this level again if it retakes it super quick to show me kind of like a hammer candle at that level like this. Oh my God, Apple, I hate you. Oh, no, I don't. I don't hate you. I love you, Apple. Don't.
You're like long-term account. You didn't hear that. I didn't say that long-term account.
All right, exactly. Right. So we'll see what we get here on the dead one, Apple. We're long 55s again. We're gonna put a breach of 2. Oh, they're nice. Okay, so let's see if we can get up a little bit over here. I'm gonna sit at the $0.75 there.
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out, getting that Amazon trade there. Sure, Jeff is pleased as punch for you for reading that one, because it started with books there.
He's a good guy.
Nicely. But yeah, NVIDIA, kind of interesting here. We have lower highs, but we're also holding this 128 beautifully. I traded 128 short right before I did the last lesson. Took about 15 pennies with 2/3 of it. Lost in the last third. But I think NVIDIA is coiling for something. I don't want to get married to this idea, though. Like, I got married to Tesla breaking at 249s last week and then just got deservedly shut down for having way too much faith in an idea that gave you very little to have faith in. But NVIDIA, we actually do have these lower highs here. Now, we do have these bottoming tail candles, so that's a bit of a show of support. But you know sometimes when we have lower highs in a level, that's a flat bottom break. Ooh. So I want to be cognizant of that possibility as well. It's going to be the entry that's going to matter here. I will not be getting involved unless I see the lower highs. I'm not going to get involved right at 128. That would be, I think, a mistake in for how I trade anyway. But if there's any stocks that you're looking to get involved in at any levels and you want to hear them talked about, go in the chat. Exclamation point, Dwayne, space, $, whatever ticker you're into. Maybe it's Amazon, maybe it's Apple, maybe it's NVIDIA, maybe it's JPM, maybe it's fun, maybe it's some fun and funware, in which case, shout out to you, and we want to hear all about it. So go in that chat right now, get involved there, and make sure that you have your voice heard. Exclamation point, Dwayne, space, $, whatever ticker you're interested in. NVIDIA, really trying to hold on to that 128. I'm going to start building a position here, because this to me is not a long. I do think it is a short. We are seeing lower highs. I'm not going to get my fill at all, so I should have been a little bit more aggressive. But I'd rather, like Sharif said, I feel like my read is better for myself. I feel like it was better earlier in the day. I know I definitely gave up some gains from earlier because I took some trades that were a little bit iffier. I want to see what we do here at 85s because NVIDIA has generally bounced off 85s, but then we broke below, so I'm not going to get my breakdown. Should have had a little bit more confidence. I get why I didn't because it hadn't really given you a lot of reason to, but you live and you learn, and I'm happy I got to watch that breakdown there in the book that came viciously, and that's something I need to learn from for next time. Everything pushing lower though on these here markets. Is there anything you're looking at right now?
I'm looking at this.
Oh no! Oh God!
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't know.
It's not my day today, man. It's not my day. I just. Okay, I'm actually not in it. Okay, good.
Oh, that's good.
It's just a position board screwed up.
That's
All right, I was like,
scarier.
no, not another stop that triggered. That wasn't supposed to. No, I'm not in Mara, guys. That's incorrect on the position board there. But this is interesting on MARA because at 2420, this was the area crest that we put in at right at 1 o'clock. We get into that 2475 and we bounce back down. But I'm still of the opinion that we could encounter resistance here on like not a permanent, obviously, that's not what I mean, but I just want to show you the level on MARA. So this is the level we're at right now, this 2472. Look, it takes us all the way back into March 28th, and the level there exactly was 2465. So we're above that level, but we're at 22s right now. It's a pay for shorts kind of set up at real trading right now. So if you want to short Mara, you're going to have to ante up. I just tried to short this name at the top, so I can just show you guys, you know, you get away from the price, and then obviously it doesn't show up the short, so right away you know that you got to pay for shorts. But I'm still very convinced on this level. It is a very it's not a local level, it's a long-term level. So to break it, I think you're going to need a little bit more oomph, but maybe we retrace up here into the high side. So good look right now for MARA, but definitely off the highs. Now, Apple, I got stopped out. Surprise, surprise there, as it did breach that 234.5. It is now coming back up a little bit, but it seems like a down day, like a short that pops on any kind of thing. I still haven't had to read properly on shorting the pops, but maybe this 234.70, there does seem to be a whole lot of interaction around there on AAPL. So if we breach this level, do we now use it as resistance? So yeah, the reads today are a little bit tough, but keeping my eye here on some of the names that are recovering. We did dip down, by the way, almost into that 550, 20,550 generally. We got a little bit above that, 60. 20,560 is the low. Definitely off that almost 800 print that we put in today on the future. So just keeping my eye on Apple, obviously, because of its correlation with the future. So looking at Apple, looking to see if it holds up above this $0.50 or if it rejects it, keeping an eye on Mara as well, because I know that there is possibly support at the $0.25 to $0.33, just owing to that local area crest that we put in at 1, but all the while knowing the higher up resistance level at the 2/3 to $0.75. Pawns, Fawns, NQ, IB lows, absolutely. Good call out there. The Pawns, the Fawns. Shout out to Dan, the man Emmons. This is the IB low right here. I'm assuming this is what Pawns is talking about. 8:45 on my chart is Central Time, so that really equates to 9:45. The IB low there was 20,581. We did breach that. We got to 20,560, as I mentioned. So we did breach it, pawns, but right above it now. Keep an eye on it. Really, I don't want to make any suggestions because I just don't feel like I got a right read on these markets. But keep your eye on that low. If we hold that low and then really trace back up, possibly use it as support. This other level here on Microsoft is also interesting. Double bottom at 451.5, and they're double bottoms with wicking, like hammer candle, bottoming tail candles, which means that buyers were buying them exuberantly at those levels. 451.43, technically the low of day, but it's really that $0.50. Let's see if we can get a move up here, or if we breach that $0.50 level, Adara, because Softy definitely had that rounded top and then came back in to that previous area of resistance. When we go back a few days, though, the soft one did breach this level that we were at right at the opening print there, right at 9:35 on Friday. We got as low as $450.64. So we did defend that 450 level. Not at that level today, but of a higher low. No question, 451.50 generally is that level of the low of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out to what you said, because you're saying like the shorting the pops and things weren't always lining up, but I want to shout out because you said you had that Amazon trade because you traded it your style.
Yeah.
Which is off the 90. And I want to, because I think that is what the difference is. I know I was saying as well, like, I think things are going better earlier in the day, blah, blah, blah. What was that voice? But I think that was because earlier in the day, I was shorting pops. I was doing my scalp shorts on the book, and that's why it worked. And then I was able to take a couple more of those on Tesla because I did have that confluence. I realized, I didn't realize two of these were in the same candle, but I had that confidence, that confidence, whatever you want to have, where I was like, Adara, if that's the style you want to take, like I said this earlier, this short, I don't even know why I took that. I was like, Jared, you need to be in a position, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I don't know what this voice is. But I felt that pressure, and that's why the trading was not really working accordingly. I got in this NVIDIA trade because this is a level I was obsessed with. As you can see here, I got out of shorts twice at that 127.85 level. And that was because 127.85 level was holding like crazy for NVDA as support. So then I said to Adara, watch on the book, see what you do at 127.85. If that flips from support to resistance, you have a really good thesis for yourself, for your purposes, for a scalp short. Because I really wanted to use what you said I wanted to take, because I think that's true. It's like whatever style you have to trade, I think you owe it to yourself to try that. So I really want to shout out what you said about Amazon. I was unable to get it involved at 127.85, so I hesitated because initially we held it as support for a millisecond before breaking back below. So alas, my entry was a bit late. I started building the position at 79s because we were still making lower highs there. I'm willing to add at 85s, but right now I would like NVIDIA to make up any kind of mine. I don't want to call it the dead one because that would just be offensive to NVDA, but it is really just doing a bit of a wick shimmy here at 127.79 in a way that generally makes me a little bit antsy and do random panic sells. So NVIDIA, please make up your mind. I wouldn't like to do that. We are seeing lower highs though. Last time we got to 85s, now we got to 83s. I don't want to move my point of entry. I have a small position. I'm okay with keeping a small position, especially because like I said, my read in NVIDIA has been a little meh today. So I want to trust that. And now NVIDIA decides to push back up. I want to see what we do here on the book as we get close to 128. If we break above 128 with the viciousness, I'm not going to be down here. If the most NVIDIA gives me is going to be like 127.75s, I actually can live with that. So we're going to try to get out here at 76s. But I think NVIDIA has flipped long on me. So that's okay. You got to live with what you get. You can't get upset. JPM, I don't know why I keep feeling like JPM is a one I could scalp. I had some fun with it last week, but JPM is getting back to that 210 area, so that's going to be on watch once I extricate myself from the wild woolly mammoth that is NVDA. And right now, NVDA is probably trying to get me to extricate itself, so
all right.
Watch out, NVDA.
Watch out, NVDA. All right, we're going to slow things down here and talk a little footy because there were umpteen amount of matches on the weekend in the Euro and in Copa America. So let's start first with Canada because they played Uruguay, obviously a very highly rated team in South America. We played them for the third place game, on Saturday before the main game got played yesterday. We ended up losing. That is a game that we could have won. We were up 2-1 in the 92nd or 93rd minute. Then Luis Suarez, the jawed one. Let's just call him that.
Jawed one?
Well, he bites people, Adara.
Oh, I didn't
That's just
know
the
that.
way it is. Yeah.
Heck?
He bit one of Katina Man's boys, Chiellini.
Oh my
Giorgio
God.
Chiellini. And then you should have seen Giorgio Chiellini go to the ref, showing him his shoulder, showing him the bite. the bite mark, and the ref's like, "What do you want me to do, bro?" Like they don't allow me to look at bite marks in making my analysis for red cards. Yeah,
he is the toothy one.
Yeah, he bites people, Adara. He's obviously a very good player, no question. We're tongue in cheek in this. He ended up
Literally tongue in cheek because he's biting people.
Fantastic. I love that. I love the puns. Anyway, he ended up scoring, tied it up 2-2, basically, like as I said, in the 93rd or 92nd minute. Otherwise, Canada would have taken the third place spot home. And then we ended up losing 4-3 in penalties. And sadly, our star, Alphonso Davies, ended up missing the penalty. Isn't that always the case, right? Who remembers Roberto Baggio in 1994, Patty Ice? Keep it quiet, he said. He always want me talking about that. All right, I'm not allowed to mention Roberto Baggio ever again on this desk. Yeah, but, you know, big players have a way of missing big penalties and tough games. That's all good there. Then the Euros. And I got to tell you, man, England broke my heart because they always end up going to the finals like they did last time. Last time they lost on penalties because Saka missed the penalty there last. And then this time, you say that again, Fabian? Yeah, if he doesn't like repeating it, but yeah. Anyway, this time we end up losing. And by we, I mean England, losing in regulation. It was towards like the later part of the game. We ended up losing there. So England, I think the best team won though. Spain was definitely the better team. So chapeau to Spain. Then yesterday, the Copa America final. This one started at 9. Why is it starting at 9 in Miami? You want to start it at 9 in LA? Fine. All right, 6 o'clock start time there. Makes sense. But why are you starting it all the way over here at 9? Don't get that. But it was a hell of a match. Messi did get injured, and that is going to be really bad news for Inter Miami. Bad injury. He went off crying, not because of the pain, obviously, but because the fact that he won't be able to play. But I got to tell you, I don't think the better team won yesterday. I think Colombia is the real deal. They are a serious contender now, and they haven't lost until yesterday in like 40 some odd matches or 20 some, I forget. But it's a long time to go undefeated. So I think Colombia definitely has to be taken seriously by everybody now, and they have the team to back it up. Like there's actually big name players that are playing at big clubs. So Colombia, I know you guys lost yesterday, but you lost in extra time, and Lautaro Martinez put that away. But chapeau to Colombia, obviously chapeau to the world champions, Argentina. They defend the Copa, and they were the world champions in Qatar when they won the
FIFA World Cup.
FIFA World Cup, thank you. And so they repeat as Copa America champions again. But yeah, man, unbelievable. Obviously, everybody knows Argentina's team is stacked like you wouldn't believe, but not a lot of people knew that Colombia's team was stacked, and they are.
That's
So
really
that's a
cool.
little bit
Learning
talking
more
about
about new teams, isn't that fun? Right? Like getting to know other senses of talent. I have a question because I feel like you would know the stats of this, and you know I'm a statistic person. I love that type of stuff. Has there ever been a year where there's been someone who's like won like on multiple different types of stages? Like you've got the Copa, you've got the
Oh yeah.
or also what's the
Euro.
Yeah, the Euro.
So yeah,
Yeah.
France won the Euro. And I believe they won the World Cup in '98, and then they won the Euro in 2000.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
People do that all the time. Yeah,
That's really
like
cool.
Argentina wins the Copa, and then they win the World Cup, then they win the Copa again, right? And by the way, the Copa America is usually like South American countries. They invite North America. It's not run by CONCACAF. It's by CONMEBOL, which is like the body of the South Americans. So they invited the North American teams. They didn't have a right to be there by default. But amazing. Leanne Trade. I'm not jealous, brother. I'm not Argentinian. What are you talking about? You okay? Did you have your tea today? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this person, but I'm not jealous. I'm just talking about the soccer analysis. So calm yourself down there, little one. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Over here, the future still headed down, baby. There is no saving this market today. It looks like we did breach 20,600, and now we're using 20,600 as a kind of like a level of resistance popping up to it, and then tanking back down to there. Eddie R., you forgot to say Spain has become the country to have won more Euro Cups. Yeah, I think they won 4 or something like that now. I know that, and Spain did it, by the way, too. They won the World Cup in 2010, and I think they won the Euro in I forget. forget about that. 2012, something like that.
That's
so
cool.
they've done it as well. So
That's very cool. Yeah,
interesting
I
trade.
find statistics interesting. I'm a huge Oscars nerd, so I'm always like who's won what, ages of nominees. So I always find any kind of stats are interesting to me.
Oh, yeah.
But also interesting to me, we're 10 cents in the money in this Apple. I made a really ugly fake apple eating face, so happy I got cut away for that. Basically though, AAPL, not one I trade a lot, but if there's stuff I like on it, I'm gonna trade it. I did have these longs earlier off that previous area that bounced at that 235.50. Okay, I don't have much of this. Sorry for that sound, guys. That was really fun. I have very little left in this position here. I have a third of this position left, but I mean, I don't want to say 234 Apple, but if I can get 50 pennies on Apple, I'd be pleased as punch, Sharif. I have to say, I'd be chomping at the bit to get that Apple. But you know what? We're seeing a bit of a pullback up here at 20, so I'm okay with taking 30 pennies. I don't even know if I'll get my 30, but I would love to see. There we go, 30 pennies on Apple for the rest of that position. Took the first 2/3 out at 10 pennies in the money, so not huge, but again, trying to trust my read in the book. I'd rather be comfortable in the trade than have FOMO. So that's really what I'm trying to do now. NVIDIA, my worst, I don't even have to look at P&L to know my NVIDIA is my worst name of the day by far. Haven't had a great read on this. I like the idea of that short breakdown there at that 127.80s with the lower highs, but I should have gotten out once I saw a bit of a change in the tides there, as Sharif likes to say. I can't believe we only have 12 minutes left, Sharif.
So get
Time
your
does fly
voting right
in these
now.
markets.
You have 2 minutes left to vote for your favorite tickers of the day. Neil and Sean will gladly look at those tickers for you. You got to vote for them, and you got to make sure that they get into the top 5. So tell your friends to vote your way. Otherwise, you may not get your say. Get to the chat right now, hit that exclamation point, then type the word join, and then hit spacebar. Shift 4 comes after that, and then you type in your favorite ticker of the day as decided by you. Now let's have a look at AMZN here, because we had a good short on AMZN last time at the 20 exponential, and it's almost back at that 20 exponential 192-ish area. We're at 191.85, so almost back at that 20 period moving average. But be careful though, because if you did feel that there was support at 191, 190.80-ish area, now you have higher lows. So fantastic. It's retracing back into the 20 exponential on the 5. However, that maybe something you need to consider, the winds of change, are these higher lows. But I would say wait till get in and then put it in a decent stop there that fits with your risk parameters. Let's see what this one is doing. Do we get short at these levels over here on the Zon as it comes into what's the future doing here right now? We just bounced off 20,050. So where exactly is a 20 exponential on the 5 on AMZ? And it's in the mid 90s. So that's exactly where I'm going to wait. Let's go and wait in the mid 90s to see if we can get something short in and around there. And my stop could be simply the making of a higher high. So if we get 192.95, then I could say to myself, well, if it breaks above 15, that's the end of that. So we'll see exactly what we get there. I see Meta making newer lows as I speak. 498 just got breached on META. This one awfully weak right now, while others are curling back up a little bit. So interesting look on the Mag 7 right now, Adair.
Yeah, I'm trying to take one last short for the road here. No, I'm joking. Knowing me and how I scalp, there could be more trades before we leave, even though we only have 10 minutes left. But IWM, I had this on my side chart. I love trading the Russell. And we did have these lower highs here. Big old topping tail candle. We saw these lower highs in the book. I probably got a bit chasey. I should have waited for 40s. I got involved at 39s. I am watching to see if we break above 50s viciously. In that case, I'll get out. I don't want to add. This is not a massive position. But what I've noticed too, what I'm starting to do, instead of like the whole risk to reward, because like I said, with book scalps, you're gonna get a little bit less of that. And every time I've tried to do like choosing this price level as my entry or my exit, that's where I think things get a little bit messy for me. So basically what I do now is this trade worth what I'm risking? If this goes against me, if what I want, will what I hope to make, does the setup work in my favor? And if that's the case, then I'll take this short. To me, IWM below VWAP with lower highs and a topping tail candle and some action in the book that cannot get above 216.50. Again, confluence with VWAP. That to me is worth it. Right now we're about 10 pennies out of the money. Like I said, I've been trying to take smaller positions in general because I think it it kind of helps with the stress, right? I think one thing too as well, and I want to shout out everybody on the back because I think you can have some great conversations, and I'm so happy to be part of this floor. It's like you want to work. Size is something you can build towards. You have to have the ideas first and the executions, and
Absolutely.
so that's what I've been working towards. As we push above 50s, though, I have no interest in being in this any longer. I lost 11 pennies, but I'm happy I tried for the trade because it was something I did think could have been interesting. Maybe could have taken slightly less size, but again, it wasn't a massive position. It's all about getting those reps in, doing those workouts so that you can hopefully get the nice big weight pull earlier. Shout out, hopefully you get that express delivery of profit there on that AMZN. I also want to talk about DJT because some people were mentioning DJT and that case getting dropped in Florida. That actually happened earlier today. That happened around 10. So that was something DJT didn't really react to much when it happened, which was going to be just after 10. So, yeah, here we go. So now it's reaction. We're already basically below VWAP at that point. But we are seeing, guys, higher lows. I think if we break above VWAP, this could be a great look. There, to me, is massive, massive resistance here at 41.60. But if we get a Donald John pump up above that level, I'm going to keep using that one, Sharif.
I like it.
I think that, well, I mean, because it kind of goes off, like you call it Donald John Trump.
Yeah.
I'm calling it Donald John pump, or Donald John dump. And you just realize it works both ways.
Is that 6 or 7?
It's 7, I think.
I like lucky number 7.
Right?
Shanks, buy me a Coke.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, let's see what we do here. This looks like it could be a bull flag if you zoom in on the 5-minute. We had that double bottom here, so clear support at 39s. Make a little bit of a flag pull. That's about up about a $2.60. So if you want to talk about a past lesson we have, sometimes you can measure the potential breakout based on how long the flag pull was. So if we do break out there, you maybe have $2.60. The reason I also say it could be a bull flag is look at this little chop and turn we're making. To me, again, I don't want to diagnose a move. I am not a huge pattern trader. I mostly do book scalping, so take that how you will. But to me, this pattern looks pretty nice. We could break higher if we break above that massive resistance here at 41.60. Maybe this market, like my tape, will turn orange.
All right.
That pump up there.
Yeah, I hope you print. Goes without saying. That's just.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, you can tell how out of it I am today. I'm short 93s, wet my beak at 75s, waiting for the bottom, I guess, to come off at 70. I've got another beak wetter there at the bottom. We're short 93s, so waiting for this print. I've got another print over here. I guess at 72s, we're showing 73 on the book. Bids got to cross below 72 for me to get printed. There we go, we get the print. So see, like the only positive name I think I have today is Amazon. Let me just double check that. No, Tesla I'm positive on as well. Okay, so yeah, but definitely still a red day for me. But it's been a rinse and repeat kind of trade on Amazon at the 20 exponential. And so you can't see the 20 exponential on the white chart, but you can certainly see it on this black chart over here. It's the yellow one. And every time we come into that 20 exponential, we are met with a wall of sellers. So you feel like whatever algo is trading this today is incorporating the 20 exponential as a, important factor for it to, an indicator that it's using. And that's kind of the gist that I get. Or because I don't see another area of good, technical resistance. There is the whole dollar, but that's above that level by a little bit. So we'll see what we get with AMZN, but it's, definitely a little bit weak today as compared to some of the other names. It's certainly the reddest of the Mag 7 names, I believe. NVIDIA's now in the red as well, 1.17, but Amazon's down 1.5. So yeah, more weakness on AMZN than we are seeing on NVIDIA. They're both very kind of like hockey stickish patterns where we get that big down move, then that sideways consolidation. Both look a little bit like that. You're not seeing that on too many other names. Maybe a little bit here on Softy where we get that hockey stick kind of sort of pattern where, you guys get it, the down move and then that sideways consolidation. Softy also not that far off lows, about 60 pennies or so, a little bit higher than the low of day right now. So keep an eye on that. The Fuge, though, the Fuge has been decidedly weak, bearish on the day since we put in that top right at 1120. It was kind of like during the early part of the show. The short starts at 11. We put the top in at 1120. The best we could do on the day was to approach 20,800. We couldn't even get to that 800 level exactly. We got to 797, and now the low of the day
well, the local low, not the overnight low, is 20,556. We're 9 points above that right now as we eke down again into those lows on the future, into the 20,560. We're a few points off that low. Technically, the low there was put in overnight at 20,508, but that is not the after the bell low. The after the bell low is this bad boy over here that we just put in about 10 minutes ago at 20,556 and a half. Adara, you just printed. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just taking a quick Tesla scalp for the road here. There we go. Took about like 15, 25 pennies in that. I realize it's not a lot, but that's the type of trading I need to be doing, just having those scalps. So I'm happy to say I'm up on the day. This is the first time this happened in a while. And I'm also very proud to say Tesla was my strongest name of the day. That's one that's a bit trickier to trade. So I'm happy I trusted my levels on this. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm just really happy to sit next to Sharif and share this desk, because I think it's such a fun opportunity there as well to, make some puns, have good times. And I really do learn a lot.
Yeah, likewise. And your trading has also influenced me to trade ranges.
Oh, yeah,
I could never say that I've traded ranges in my life prior to sitting on the desk, but hey, you see things that I may not have necessarily seen, so it definitely helps me in that regard. I'm going to send it to you, and I'm going to weasel my way onto the green screen.
Best of luck with weaseling. I love that you say that. Shout out to Sharif, seriously. You will see him on the green screen. Post-haste, you'll see him very shortly. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've learned today is just trusting your read on stuff. NVIDIA, I was really struggling with the read on the book. There are times I was trusting it and then not wanting to trust it because I knew I was wrong. And it's like, as Neil always says, you can be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to stay wrong. That was what I was doing a little bit with NVIDIA. So definitely just trying to learn from those types of experiences and opportunities. And yeah, I think that's really key. I think this is one of the best parts. Like I said, I'm shutting out all the guys on the floor, everyone behind you, everyone as well in the back in production in this chat. And of course, Sean, Neil, Sharif, Brendan. I think one of the best parts of this community is you get so many different perspectives. I know it sounds like I'm giving an Oscar speech, but I don't think it's wrong to be grateful here in these markets. It's like Thanksgiving every day. I want to check the markets here before we leave us, though, the general overall indices. We have about 2 minutes left here. So the SPY, let's see what we're doing here in the SPY. SPY making some lower highs, lower lows here continuously, but actually trying to make slightly higher lows here on this 561 level, trying to grind a little bit higher here. I would like to see what we do if we come back to 561.80s. That was certainly an area of resistance in the pre-market, below where VWAP was at the time. Then we get there, bounce pretty viciously, come back to 562.40, then come right back down. So this will be an interesting level for me here on the SPY. If we can continue to hold that support around that 561 and then push above into that 561.80s, that'll be kind of interesting to me at this point. Shout out to you, Day Trader Cut. I hope you've had a fabulous day. And again, like this whole community, just fabulous. Let's take a look here at the NQs NQs and SPY actually looking really similar here. So that's the TQs. I'll switch to the Qs. But on the Qs here, we are below that 500 level pretty decisively. We got to like 501, just shy of 501s earlier, wicked into 501.03s. Right now, though, much like the SPY, we are seeing a lot of hold up here and a bit of a grind to a halt, although unlike the SPY where you had these higher lows here at the support area, Qs are seeing lower lows. So Qs maybe trying to be a little bit weaker here than the SPY. We're slightly about the same today. SPY is trying to do something here at 21, up 0.21%. Qs up here about 0.17%. So Qs a little bit weaker than the SPY, both chart-wise and in terms of what you're seeing percentage-wise. But you know what's not weak here is all the content we're trying to give you here, hopefully, at Trader TV Live. So happy to be here with everyone with these crazy markets. It looks like the Qs are really trying to break down as we have the SPYs continuing to try to hold that 561. So this should be a very spicy afternoon. Can't wait to see what everyone else there is trading. But right now, we're going to go to the green screen. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil's here, Sean's here. They're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to take the names as decided by